What's up, guys? Boogie back again. Welcome back to the channel. Don't forget, guys, to subscribe, like, share. Guys, comment down below videos that you want me to watch to react to. And don't forget, today I got a couple videos for you guys. And like I said, I don't finish all the videos. Some videos are like half-hour long. I just want to, I select which parts to react to that I believe that you guys can, we can have conversations about and, see how to go about these situations because dating is crazy out here, right? So if there are any videos that you want to finish, I'll put all the links down below to all the content creators whose videos I'm reacting to. But today's first video is crazy. I mean, I didn't think I would see this day, but apparently now, for women who lie to men that hey, this is your kid and it's not your kid, apparently somehow consequences are starting to come. So this woman is going to be telling us about a woman who is going to be going to jail. I think she went to jail for paternity fraud. This is where women claim they are pregnant for a man even if he's not the father, and then the DNA reveals he's not the father, but usually the father has been paying child support and so on and so forth. But it looks like this could be a win of many to come for men, because we're going to be honest, some of you guys, the father you think is your father is not your actual father, and the only reason that is because he did care to do child support. Your mom tells you that's your father, you grow up for years thinking that's your father, but that's not your father. So without further ado, let's get into it.
If you're going to claim that a man is the father of your child, you better be sure, because the courts will indict you for paternity fraud. This woman name is Laura Owens. If you don't know her, she accused a former Bachelor contestant named Clayton Edwards of being the father of her child. Not just her child, her twin children. When he didn't believe that she was pregnant and definitely didn't want any parts in her pregnancy, she decided to open a paternity lawsuit against him to prove that he is the father and to get orders that he actually participates in her pregnancy, and she asked for child support. Clayton never believed that she was pregnant, and he definitely did not think that he was the father because he said that he never actually had intercourse with her to result in having a child.
This goes out to also the guys who want to be stepfathers. Did you guys know if you're a stepfather, right? Let's say you deal with a single mom, you guys in a relationship, marriage, even just a normal relationship, but you try to participate in her kid's life. Maybe you pick the kids from school, you buy them birthday gifts, you take them to the park, you play with them. If you guys break up, she can literally put you on child support in some states. And she will simply say, you were taking care of the kids and the kids are used to you. Now you are forced to pay child support for kids that you didn't give birth to. So you guys better watch out. As you can see in this situation, a woman can literally just say you are the father, take you to court, and then they force you to pay child support even if you haven't even done a DNA test. Obviously, it's on you as the man to do a DNA test to find out if the kid is yours. But in this situation, she just picked out a guy who didn't even have sex with her to claim he's the father. But thank God it gets worse for her.
Laura's story changed up multiple times, and eventually she decided to drop the lawsuit because the judge was starting to get an inclination that she was lying, and Laura was never able to actually prove that she was pregnant. She said that she had a miscarriage, and she wanted to drop the lawsuit. Clayton was like, oh no, we are not dropping this lawsuit, and decided to take it to court to prove that she was never pregnant. And I know that Clayton is happy that he did this because Laura just got indicted on criminal charges for paternity fraud. Essentially, she lied to both Clayton and the court, telling them that she was pregnant and she really wasn't. Now, I know some people think they can just shame men into being the father of their child, but she was not able to pull this over Clayton's eyes or the court eyes, and now she's facing criminal charges.
I mean, this is a good start, because some of you guys right now, if we're going to be honest, you didn't do a DNA test, and right now the woman told you you are the father and you're paying child support for a baby that is not yours. Multiple kids that don't belong to you. Because you are scared of telling the woman I want to do a DNA test. But you know it's probably not your kids, but you're already on child support. And in some states, apparently, if you are already on child support and then later on you find out the kids don't belong to you, the judge can still force you to remain on child support till 18 years. Even if DNA test says those are not your kids. But thank God this guy was smart enough to be like, hey, I'm gonna fight back. Because I get it, guys. Some guys, sometimes men don't want confrontation. They don't want to go to court, and they don't want to have to pay, lawyer fees. It's expensive to get a lawyer and things like that. It's so expensive. So the guy will just accept and be like, okay, sure, I'll just get on child support. But I think it's very key to get on DNA and really prove you are not the father. But I'm glad at least, because sometimes you may prove you're not the father, but it doesn't mean they will hold the woman accountable. But finally, the courts are starting to hold women accountable who lie and force men to be fathers who are not fathers. Because can you imagine paying such child support and taking care of a baby or couple kids that don't belong to you, and then you find out years later that you paid this woman child support, or you paid tuition, you bought food, you paid rent for these kids, and then you find out they're not your kids, and then the courts don't do nothing. They cannot force her to give you back the money because all they say is you didn't do a DNA test. It was up to you to do a DNA test to make sure the kids actually belong to you before you start, supporting the kids. And to me, that's paternity fraud. And some of you guys right now, the fathers who you think is your father is not your actual father. And all goes back to the fact that they were scared of doing a DNA test to prove they're not your father. Or maybe they were scared of, getting the woman mad. Because I understand why, the woman may feel like, oh, you don't trust me, I've been with you, now how can you think I slept? Because if a man decides, hey, I want to do a DNA test, all he's saying, I don't trust you. He's saying she might have slept with another man. And I see how some women may get offended, especially the women who are loyal. But hey, no man would want to be in a situation where you find out years later that you are paying money or child support or supporting kids that don't belong to you. But at least finally, a woman is being held accountable for paternity fraud. So hoping this will stop the paternity fraud that goes on so much. Because I've seen some statistics that says that 30% of men are raising kids that don't belong to them and they don't know about it. So for me, this is a step in the right direction. What do you guys think about that? All right, so next up, again, paternity fraud. Some states are going to be requiring that some state I've seen, I don't know which state that is. I don't know if it's North Carolina, but they want to put a law where DNA test is mandatory as soon as the woman gives birth. That way there's no paternity fraud. But as you guys know, so many women don't like it. One, they obviously, if the chances are they were cheating, they cannot, lie on a man's name and say this is your baby even if it's not the baby. So women don't like it. So this woman is going to be talking about how mandatory paternity test, women don't like it. Even if it will help a man to know, hey, this is my baby, I can support my baby, rather than trying to support a baby and take care of a baby or couple kids and you're not even sure if they're your kids. So let's get into it.
My friend John just posted a video, and it was not just posted. He posted a video a couple whiles back talking about how men can get DNA tests off of Amazon to test their children. They don't even have to tell the baby mom type shit. And he mentioned that in the comments there was reactions from women. Most of the reactions I saw was, why would you go and do that shit? He don't trust me type shit. And the other ones weren't really rational arguments. They were just kind of hooping and hollering in the comments. I've said this a million times over the course of my social media platforms that I believe that DNA tests should be mandatory at the time of birth. Because if it's mandatory, then the women's feelings don't get hurt about man don't trust me, but then the man gets the 100% security of knowing that the person that he is about to be financially responsible for actually belongs to his genetic pool. You feel what I'm saying? And I caught a fuck ton of backlash on that one. But I think the bigger thing that people are escaping to remember here, if you are one of those women in the comments hollering about somebody DNA testing your kid, that gives me the belief that you are hiding something. And I'm not saying...
I agree. They're probably hiding something. Because if you're not hiding something, why don't you want the man to do a DNA test to be sure? Because you are the mother. You know, you have all the proof that you are the mother because the baby came out of your womb. But the man doesn't know, he's not sure. But you will find that women would be quick to put a man on child support, but then as soon as the man says, hey, let's say do a DNA test, then they get offended. It's like, that's not fair. You want me to pay child support for a kid that I'm not sure, 100% sure is mine, but you don't want me to do a DNA test to make sure that actually the kid is mine? The kid is mine? Like, that's not fair. But they don't see it that way. They just see it like, oh, you think I'm not loyal? You think I'm a cheater? But it's not like, I don't care about all that. I just want to make sure.
Saying that's necessarily the truth, because if you take it to the fact that you're not hiding anything, but you're like, well, he doesn't trust me, put it this way: if the roles were reversed and the man was the one producing the child, right?
Yeah.
And you guys, could be the mom, maybe not be the mom, you would want that 100% certainty. It's not that far-fetched of an idea.
Facts.
Anywho, as I said, I will stand 10 toes down on it. At the time of birth, it should be required. DNA testing, paternity testing should be required at the time of birth. Solves a lot of problems down the line. Have a day.
I agree, because apparently in some states, let's say, so the woman gives birth and then you as a man, you allow her to put you on a birth certificate as the father, and you haven't done a DNA test to make sure the kid are yours, and you start paying child support, and then 2 years, 3 years, you catch her cheating, and then you're like, you know what, let me do a DNA test on my kids. In some states, the judge will still force you to pay child support for 18 years, even if they find out the kids don't belong to you, because you are required to at least do a DNA test before you put your name on a birth certificate. So in some states, and I've seen these cases online, the judge is like, no, your name is on the birth certificate, the kids are used to you, you're gonna have to pay child support, even if they find out who the real dad is. So the real dad will sit back, chill, do nothing, and then you, as the man who was lied to by the woman, you keep paying child support. So I understand why some women don't want, DNA test at birth, because it really just may expose some of them. And some of you guys, I've said it before, some of you guys, the fathers that you think are your fathers are not your actual fathers, and that's because your mom told you so. And usually because those fathers didn't do any DNA test to find out. And in fact, I heard that in some countries like France, if a man does a DNA test behind the back of a woman, he could go to jail even if he finds out the kids are not his. But the fact that he did a DNA test behind the woman's back, he could go to jail, even if the kids don't belong to him. So it's funny. Clearly, they know some women are sleeping around with other men, and then they force those kids onto the men that don't belong to them, especially married women, because it's like she doesn't want the husband to think she was cheating. Let's go through the comments and see what the women think. It's always interesting. All right, let's see. Comment number 1: if she's tripping over a DNA test, then there's a chance she's hiding something. Facts. If she doesn't want you to do a DNA test, 99% chance she was cheating, or at least she messed around in some way. No one with authentic diamonds gets upset when the diamond testing machine is brought up. Okay, nice analogy. If you don't trust me is the first line of gaslighting. Yeah, I trust you, and I trust you so much that I want to make sure that the kids are mine. So let's do a DNA test. You feel me? Yeah, equality feels like operation to those with a privilege. I know. 100 women versus 100 women versus paternity test is almost like 100 men versus one gorilla, right? Let's say this is a woman, as a 40-year-old woman that doesn't know her father, have been saying mandatory paternity test at birth should be made a law. And this is what I just said. 40-year-old woman doesn't know who the father is. And some women don't even know who the father is because they may have like a threesome. They may have like a train in one night. Maybe they were drunk. I don't know, whatever the case. they had a couple guys in the same night, so they're not sure. So that's why paternity tests at birth would help. As soon as the kid comes out, they test the kid, they test the guy who's there, the father, the guy who's around for the birth, and they just make sure he's the father. I think this would save so much, but women don't like it. Also make sure the hospital gives you your baby, by the way. Mistakes have been happening at almost every hospital. Yeah, I've heard about that, where they change babies. The way they switch babies for some reason, I don't know why. Another good thing to mandatory paternity test is ensuring that the hospital doesn't accidentally switch babies. Yeah, I just talked about that. They will understand checking his phone or location to give them a sense of security, but can't extend the same understanding to a man wanting to be sure his kids are his. Facts. I 100% agree, man. What do you guys feel about paternity testing at birth? And some of you guys are scared of asking your women for DNA tests because she's going to hit you with, "You don't trust me." And some of you guys are actually scared of testing your own kids because there's 80% chance that kids are not yours, but you are scared of finding out the truth. So what you do, you just don't do DNA tests. So you put yourself on having to support kids that they don't even look like you. Some of yours kids, she messed around with your cousin and your brother and they look like you, but that's because you look like your brother. So hey, I don't know. All right, shout out to Kendra G, favorite of the channel. This woman, single mom, says $150,000 is too low for her. Let's get into it.
TJ?
Yes.
What's up, y'all on TikTok? Y'all be having good light, y'all. Y'all be ready. How old are you?
I'm 48.
Okay. That's a microphone?
It is.
Okay. All right, TJ, where you calling me from, baby?
I live in Arizona, Miss Kendra.
Listen, y'all be prepared on TikTok. I love it. So TJ, 48, looking good, Arizona. What you do for a living?
Well, I just left corporate America in February, so now I'm on my entrepreneur journey. I'm helping people build legacy wealth. So credit repair, life coach. I've got a couple things I'm doing, but I'm passionate about my nonprofit.
So what do you want me to put down for your job?
Let's put down entrepreneur. That's what's in my profile.
Entrepreneur. Do you have any kids?
I have 3 grown children, yes.
How old are your 3 grown kids?
29, I gotta try to get this right, 26 and 24.
Okay. And what's your zodiac sign?
I'm a Leo, fire sign.
Okay. Your 3 kids, are they all by the same man?
Yes, my ex-husband.
Okay. And when did you get divorced?
2011.
Okay. All right. So we got TJ, 48, Leo, Arizona, left corporate America. Now she's an entrepreneur. Mom to 3 by her ex-husband. She was once married. What kind of man you looking for, girl?
I'm a strong man, independent, who has emotionally healed, and just looking to explore and live life. Just get out here and live and have fun.
Okay.
So, that season.
All right. What are your deal breakers?
Good looking lady at her age, 48, grown kids. Now, I think, as you can see the title, she said 150,000 is too low. How is it too low if all your kids are grown? Crazy, right? Let's see.
Lack of communication, selfish, lack of self-aware, and low emotional intelligence.
Okay. And what about money? Should he make a certain amount of money?
I need him to be very stable. I have worked hard. I'm building this new life. And so I think a man that doesn't have at least what I'm bringing is going to be insecure. That's been my experience. So yes, he needs to have a nice level set income that hopefully can level me up, is to be honest.
Why do you need him to level you up when you just said you've worked and you have accumulated your own income? That doesn't make sense. So you have worked and accumulated your income that you have, but you want him to come and bring his income to level you higher? Like, why? Why don't you use your own money? What's your money going to do in the meantime while he's spending money on you? So you're going to be saving it. Ah, okay.
What is that minimum?
Oh, I gotta say minimum. He's an entrepreneur, hopefully, because we can live. I mean, 150K is very low end for me.
Oh my
No,
God.
girl, that's why I'm gonna be single for a little bit, but I'm okay with that.
You're going to be single forever, not for a little bit. You're not 25, ma'am. You're 48 with grown kids. Why do you need a man making so much money, like as if he has to take care of kids? Like as if you're starting a new family. And then you're claiming you got money, but you want a man who makes so much money also to do what? You're going to be single forever.
I'm okay with that.
So if 150 is the low end, that's too low. 150.
I mean, that's low end. Like he's comfortable, he's confident, and I feel good about that.
Okay, so the minimum is 150.
Yeah.
Got you. Because so 80K, you couldn't do that.
I mean, if he come with heavy swag bag and some other things kicking it, great vitamin D, because I'm in Sunshine, Arizona, so that vitamin D got to be rocking if he make 80K. And his, personality, everything's got to really be aligned. Because I find that if they're not secure in who they are, he can be that at 80, but if they're not, it becomes a challenge because I'm very vibrant outside.
Now,
so it just sounds like if he doesn't make 150K, you kind of talk down on him. Because you all keep saying that he's not secure in who he is. No, he makes 80K, that's what he makes. But then you're going to talk down on him maybe because you make more, or maybe because he's not going to give you the expensive Cancun vacation trips and to Jamaica that you're used to, and then you're going to call him broke every time he doesn't do that. So that sounds like it's a you problem. You can't claim in one sentence that you make all this money and then you say a man also needs to make money to come support you. If you're already making your money, what's the issue? And then she's saying that a man who makes 80K gotta have a big dick. That's what she meant. At least from saying vitamin D. She was trying to be PG, but I said exactly what she's trying to say.
When you say vitamin D, what kind of vitamin D you talking about? I know you talk about Sunny D.
No, ma'am. You know what type of vitamin D I'm talking about. I'm 48. Like, I am about to go play tennis. Like, I was literally I saw your live come through. I'm like, no, my profile is ready. So he got to be out here and active, and that includes regular vitamin D.
Okay. So we'll make an exception if the vitamin D is right in the salary category.
Yes. More than that, if his lifestyle and his, just everything.
Okay.
But that, those are kind of those.
So with that being in mind, though, if a guy made more, let's just say he made 200K, but didn't have the best vitamin D, would you give that guy a chance?
What is the best vitamin D mean? If he is like low vibe and we gotta have some good connection in that space. It's not like top priority, but if you're once a month and I need, a couple times a week, we won't be healthy.
So they want it all. And you know what's funny is everything she's asking for, even younger women are asking for. She's 48. So a woman who's 38, a woman who's 28, 25, 20, all the way to 45 are asking for the same exact things she's asking for. So a man has to choose. A man making 150 or more has to choose between her and all these other women who probably even don't have any kids, who are probably not as entitled, So it's crazy. I mean, good luck, but she looks good, but I don't know if she's going to find this guy.
So, if he makes 200K and he need Viagra, that's fine. But we should be compatible in those spaces. And I'm active. Even at 48, I'm still active.
Okay. Should he look a certain way?
I do like some nice chocolate. Obviously, healthy in shape would be great. But even if he isn't, and he knows that he wants to be that, I'm good with that too, So yeah, he gotta look good. I want him to have some swag, dress nice, I'm into fashion, so I think that is a representation of who you are. So I do want him to look good.
Okay, we already.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with wanting a man who looks good, but at 48, I this is my personal opinion. I feel like she's stuck at the same thing she was asking for when she was 28 and when she didn't have 3 kids. That's my opinion. Or she's stuck at when she was 25 and asking for the same things. Because at her age with the kids, you would think a woman her age is going to have lower standards. Because if a woman who's 25 is saying she only wants to date men who make $200,000 or more and it's a deal breaker, a woman who's 48 shouldn't have the same crazy standards as a woman who's 25. You should have seen life to know and matured enough to know that money isn't everything, especially if you don't have little kids to take care of. But looks like she hasn't learned a thing.
I got the money question out the way, so let's do the Kendra can.
Oh, okay. What do you want me to do, Ross?
Yeah, see your legs. Oh, you look good. I can tell you. Bye. I can tell you working out. Oh, yeah, you in shape.
To go play tennis. I literally am on my way to tennis class, and I saw your live come on. I was like, dang, I'm still gonna get in here because my little tennis outfit cute. So
you look cute. You look good. So when was your last relationship?
Technically last June, but we officially were breaking up last 18 months ago.
Okay.
So we kind of start breaking up as you live together and shit. So 18 months ago.
Okay. You don't have to answer, but I'm gonna ask. When's the last time you was intimate with someone?
18 months.
Okay. 3 flaws you have to work on.
Here we go.
3 flaws I have to work on. I would say I'm very dominant as a Leo a lot of times, and so
guys, I want my flowers in the chat. Put my flowers in the comment sections. What did I tell you? You remember when she said if he makes 80,000 he should be confident, because the guys who make that kind of money, they kind of feel insecure around me. I told you she talks down on them, that masculine energy. I already knew. And I mean, shout out to her for being honest and being introspective and, being self-aware that she's dominant and things like that. But I see why I guess she thinks the only men who can handle her, because, they like to be handled, are the men who make lots of money. And the only reason she thinks those men will handle her, because men who make lots of money, first of all, have so many choices of women, and they don't deal with that BS. So as soon as she tries to talk back or anything, he will just leave and go to the next man, to the next woman. So I see, she's dominant, masculine.
I want to be more intentional about making space for another person to kind of have the voice and be the leader in the role. And so I'm very much good with that, but you got to be on point. And so I find that if you're not there, I can't step back. Like, I'm going to still be dominant. So I want to work on that. I also want to work on focus. Like, I get excited about lots of things, and I want to help everybody, but I also know you can't be great at lots of things. And so I want to be able to focus on a couple things. So that would be 2. And I'm very, very, I don't know, I'm struggling with a 3rd one.
They always struggle with their flaws. I mean, they can name everything they want in a man and everything a man can do for them. But as soon as it's time for them to name their weaknesses or things they need to work on, then for some reason they can't name shit. And when it's also time for them to say things they're going to do for a man, because notice, I understand Kendra really doesn't ask what they're going to do for a man. Sometimes she may ask, oh, why is a man going to be lucky to be with you? But I wish you could ask, what things are you bringing on the table for a man? They never have any answers. They have a list of 100 things what a man can do, should do for them, but they never say anything they can do for a man.
Ooh. Well, only because I'm on a time constraint. I'm gonna let that one live right now. Why would a guy be lucky to be with you?
I feel like I'm a great partner. Communication is really, really important to me. Even if you're not the best communicator, I have a way and a style that, really makes people feel safe in a space. I am really good at love. Like my profile is TJ Loves Love because I love love. I've been hurt many times, but that's not going to stop me because I do believe my partner is out there.
No, he's
And so
not.
somebody looking to live life and just be able to say, I did it all and we did it together, I think that's, is this what I'm looking for. I think that God would be lucky to have me. I cook, I clean, I work out, all the things. So
Okay.
And
Now,
you're dominant.
TJ, you are 48. What's the age range you want to date?
I've had some challenges with younger men, so I would like them to be 45 at minimum.
45 at
Um,
minimum. And should he be in
mhm.
Arizona?
Well, I travel. I'm in an EV. I'll get on the road or get on a flight, so I'll travel.
We got TJ, 48, Arizona. Now, if you travel, he got to buy the plane ticket, I'm assuming.
Yes, ma'am, because he got
See, even when even the least thing she can do is invest. Let's say she gets a man in a different state. The least thing she can do is, hey, listen, in order to show a man that you're actually investing or you actually want to get to know him, the least thing a woman can do is to invest in her own transportation. And then when she gets there to see the man, he will take care of everything. But she's just said, even the plane ticket, he has to buy it. It's like, okay, so what are you doing? Are you just showing up? I'm showing up too. What else are you doing? Like, you got to put some kind of effort to show a man that, you know what? I'm here for real. I'm not just here to expect you to do everything for me, 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 me. I can also put a little bit of investment to show you that I actually want to get to know you. But even the plane ticket, he has to buy it for you. I thought you make all this much money. You said in the beginning you make so much money.
that bread. Remember?
That's like, oh, because he got to have the bread at the door.
Right.
Because what you think TJ gonna do? Because you got to have the bread
For
and the
me.
vitamin D.
Yes, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm closer to the last season of my life than I got so many years behind me. Yes, ma'am. My requirements are that. So
Don't.
I mean, clearly you haven't learned, TJ. I mean, you look good, but at your age, you should have learned that all these things that you talk about, that the young women talk about, it's never going to work. You know, you want a guy who makes $200,000 in good shape. You probably want him to not have other women. You want him to pay for your plane tickets. I'm guessing you're going to want him to pay for your trips, to pay for your lifestyle. He's not getting any kids from you. You know, you want to be dominant as well. You know, you're not saying anything you're going to do for the man. It's like you just want a sugar daddy. TJ, you should just say that. You know, but you expect him to, and then you're competing with younger women for the same kind of man. What are the chances you're gonna get that kind of man? I don't know, but your life should have shown you exactly that you're probably never gonna find him. But maybe you will. You look good, but we'll see. So shout out to Kendra. Link down below. All right, next up. Shout out to Mr. Organic, and this woman came on and she was going off on women who don't help hold themselves accountable, who like to play victim, who don't dress well, who don't put in effort for men. Like, she was going off. She was, in other words, we have a video where a woman is holding other women accountable, and I can guarantee you other women don't like it. Let's go.
But that's why I have a big problem with a lot of the women that come to me when I talk about what I say.
Yeah.
And they tell me like, oh, I don't think it's fair because the only reason why I have is the only reason why I'm a is because I'm trying to make it out the hood, whatever the case may be. Like, I tell them all the time, like, I've been homeless before. I've lived outside before. Like, when I was like young too, I had so many opportunities where like men would try to like give me money for sex and things like that, and that could have been the easy way out, but not all money is good money. And at the end of the day, like, God's gonna put you through things and see if you actually can make it out, and with the morals and the integrity that you keep, he's gonna bless you forever. Like, life is too blessed to be stressed. I ain't gonna lie. So whatever excuses a lot of these women have nowadays, it's kind of like, okay, but you lost your soul in the process.
Talk about that soul loss in the process. Can you go a little bit deeper in that? Because I'm loving that talk now. They need to hear this. They think it's sweet. I mean, what else am I do? What?
It's because they have like a victim card. Like they wear like a badge a lot of the time. And it's like, okay, like we all have a story. We all go through things. Like can you wipe your tears and get on with it? Like
come on now. Is you crazy?
Yeah.
Like no one trying to hear all that. You done gave up hope and gave up your soul for $1.
Yeah.
Shame on you.
Less than a Netflix subscription. I ain't gonna lie.
Nothing. And then most of you, and
Crazy.
then what they get up is that trying to make it on just like a trying to rap. So y'all thinking this you gonna get on because you got a fat ass and boom, you gonna be a millionaire. I make 100,000 a month. Gonna get $17 a month, busting big ass open, sucking big dog dicks and everything, getting $15 a month donations. You broke and your soul roasted and your all around the world, your great grandkids gonna see you doing that. And you ain't even made that much money. Even if you did make a lot of money, what that do for your life? You shameful. Shame on you.
They don't have shame no more.
What?
I ain't gonna lie.
Talk about they don't got shame. Can you break that down? Because I see them got shame either. Why do women nowadays don't have shame? Why they feel like it's free to be a damn fool?
Well, because the world has made it normalized that everybody should be accepted. And there's a lot of things that people will say I'm gonna get canceled for, but I don't give a who the fuck gonna cancel me.
You.
I mean, other women are gonna cancel you, ma'am. I like everything you're saying. You know, it's always refreshing to see a young, beautiful lady talk like this. You know, because right now what she's doing, she's breaking the whole sister code or sisterhood. So I won't be surprised if other women call her a pick me. You know, because usually when a man holds other women accountable, he gets canceled. So in this case, she may not get canceled, but she would definitely get attacked by other women.
Trolls, like people with the alphabet in the username. Come on now.
Never gonna cancel me.
Yeah, what?
You gotta cancel me like up and close.
But like,
JFK
who is
me.
cancel culture?
Yeah,
It's
you
like
gotta goddamn come get me.
People aren't really like.
Oops.
Really like. It's an imaginary world. When back in the day, they used to tar and feather people.
Come on now.
People
That was a guillotine.
That's
goddamn scarlet letter, burn you, stab you, burn you at the stake.
Yeah, but everybody's accepting everything now, so it's normalized that people are just posting everything and doing anything that they want. But it's like, okay, like when is enough enough?
Yeah,
man, there is nothing more beautiful than a woman, you know, speaking life into other women when it comes to holding them accountable. Because it's rare to see a woman speak like this, if we're going to be honest. Especially if you guys have seen social media, it's usually my body, my choice, do this, let her do everything, this and that, OnlyFans, and, you know, twerking in the restaurants and all these kind of things, right? But usually when a man says anything, he's like, no, my body, my choice. I can do anything I want as a woman. But to see another woman try to speak up and be like, these women are crazy, man, there's nothing more beautiful than that. And obviously she looks good, nice, sweet voice. So, man, I see why men may like this kind of woman.
it's like there's no limit to like how far they will go, especially just
Absolutely.
and most of the time, what's shocking too, it ain't even for the money. It's just for a little clout.
Absolutely.
They ain't even getting no money.
Like girls be trying to let hit for a weed, like
sure.
a gram of weed. I'll be like, damn.
Oh, they gonna do that for that weed now.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
that weed look
That's
different.
crazy.
That weed expensive.
Oh my
They
goodness.
let stand up in that motherfucking goddamn plow.
Yeah.
I mean, leg up, eat it, everything. For a motherfucking little joint like this, ashtray,
Little roach.
got smoking with the defenses.
Oh my god.
You got some more? Get the ball. I got another little pitch. I got a nugget for you. Get nasty. You ain't doing enough. It's wild out here. You know what I mean? It's like,
Crazy.
and they get mad at us for not respecting that. Like, I respect women at the highest level, the ones that conduct themselves in that manner. What?
Yeah.
The world ain't nothing without women. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't even gonna operate the same when we ain't got women here. That drive us to be the glorious ones we are. Like, if you got all the money in the world, you in shape and all that, and a woman still ain't looking at you like, damn, that's that guy? You ain't. I don't give a what you talking about. If you can't get no women, you ain't. That's just a bottom line. And off your natural exuberance too now. If you got to lean with the money, you lame from the rip. I don't care what you say. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's extra attribute, but your main attribute should be you, your vessel. And the money just like look good, look shiny, but baby, you love me, you better. So it's difficult for, people to get those other components because that's earned over longevity. You get quick hit of some money,
Yeah.
but learning how to talk and be funny and goddamn dress and I mean, they can't do all that.
Yeah.
Man,
People don't have no game nowadays.
come on, talk about
I kind of agree with him. Everything men do for the most part is around women, whether it's providing for women, protecting women, whatever it is. I honestly believe if women disappear today, men would just get a bunch of beers, make enough money just to grab some beers, just to grab food, and relax. If we're going to be honest, if women disappear today, men would make some money, the wars would be gone because you don't have any women to fight over. You know, get your beer, watch your TV, and relax. I mean, obviously, clubs would shut down because clubs, the only reason they make money is because women go there and men go for the women. So any any entertainment events would probably die down because the women would be gone. So women need men and men most definitely need women. So I agree with him on that part.
these lame out here. These lame out here for real. What?
Not
I know
all
they're
of
coming
them.
at you.
Not all of them.
Come on, son.
Yeah, for sure. Some of them just they spend their time too much at home or like in an imaginary fantasy in their head.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of people too. They say that nice guys finish last.
Right.
But I don't think that's necessarily the case though. I
Okay.
think nice guys who allow themselves to be stepped over finish last.
Go into depth on that.
Yeah, because a lot of like these quote unquote nice guys, I've seen that they have a stamp card for like how many times they've been nice.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, all right, like when's the time to like,
Yeah.
I deserve it. I'm entitled to something. But in reality, like if you really have a kind heart, you're gonna do things out of the kindness of your heart.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you don't expect nothing back.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of I agree with her and I disagree with her. When it comes to a relationship, now me being nice to someone on the street, I don't expect nothing back. But most men try to be nice in a relationship because it's a relationship for a reason. You give some to receive something, right? But most guys, unfortunately, are nice to women, whether it's in dating or relationship or marriage. They're being nice, they're putting their best foot forward, but they get nothing in return. All they get is you didn't do enough. So that's why most guys are tired of being nice guys, because they've been in situations where they've been nice over and over and over again, but they get no reciprocation. So she's wrong on that part. Like everyone deserves to be nice to someone when it comes to dating and relationships and receive something back. It shouldn't be I'm just gonna be nice to you and you're gonna be mean to me. That's not fair.
But I don't know, like it is wild out here because a lot of people like I think also because we see too many times that women are putting themselves out there.
Right.
So it's like it's a little bit hard. So when a good woman does approach or get approached by these men, a lot of men think that she's the same as other people.
Right.
So they act the same.
Right.
Because a lot of women like it's just too easy.
Yeah.
It's too easy, especially if they just think you got a name.
Right.
They'll let you hit for a name.
Sure, they like that.
Yeah, so I was just talking to a friend about like a lot of guys with money, even if they don't have any experience with women and things like that, like if as long as they could just dish out money, they can get women.
Yeah.
But I don't know, would you say it's like the women that are putting the content and all of these things out there, or the men buying the content?
I think it's both. The women are putting because I think she's talking about OnlyFans and porn and things like that. But I think it's a accountability on both men and women. The women are doing it, the men are buying it. So, I mean, both people need to be held accountable in that case.
I'll put it on the men.
Okay.
Yeah, because a product is nothing without a consumer.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Like you can make all the products in the world, but But if no one's buying it, it don't matter.
Yeah.
So these weirdo guys who's buying all this content, they're the ones that's fucking up the whole ecosystem.
Yeah.
Even these guys who's tricking on women is fucking up the ecosystem for real. Like, you out here just want to pay, and that's why women be like, oh yeah,
I want you to make 7 figures.
Yeah, like, you understand? Go Google the percentages of that, like, or they just be random on. Like I say, it's always like, I need my nails done. I want to come see you, but I got to get my hair and my toes and my nails done. Can you take care of that for me to come see you? What? You can't worry about your own personal necessities?
And it's not even that. Like, I feel if you want a man to actually accept you for who you are,
right,
then I think the first date should be all natural.
Come on now.
I agree. I mean, she's speeding right now. But like I said, because she's holding women accountable, other women are going to attack her. We have seen videos where women say men who don't like women with makeup are broke men because they cannot afford to buy them makeup. We have seen videos like that. But she's saying women should go on dates natural with no makeup. Sounds like a good suggestion to most men, because, you know, guys go on dates with women with so much makeup that if they took it off, they become a whole different person. So it will work for men. Men would like this kind of advice, but women don't like it.
Hey, a lot of women don't say, because I heard one woman say like, oh, like, I think they're not, they don't want to maintain me and stuff like that. But
right.
I've seen some women without makeup.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Gruesome.
I don't know, if I was a man, oh, absolutely, we're going to a water park on our.
We're gonna have to. We're gonna skinny dip it. Preferably, I gotta see the whole.
Your ass in the pool.
Yeah, I gotta see the whole shebang, baby. Take everything off. I'm gonna take everything off. Let's examine. Okay, yo, up my name. Because they want to be catfishing from head to toe.
Absolutely.
Literally.
But then they call it high maintenance.
Oh, it ain't no high maintenance, baby. It's called goddamn catfishery. You know what I'm saying? It's called costume maker. You know what I'm saying? Special effects. That's what it's called.
Buffoonery.
Yeah, so it's like, and if you're high maintenance, right? Who's been maintaining it? Because if you're single, you've been maintaining it. Why do your own maintenance got to do with me?
Yeah.
You should be able to still maintain yourself. Don't try to put that game on me. Oh, you came in. No. That's your job. It got nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
You go.
He's making a good point, because we have seen so many times women, they say I make all this kind of money, I take care of myself, I pay my own bills, I'm independent, and then in the same breath they say they want a man to come into their life to take care of the same bills that they've been bragging about. It's like, you just bragged about how much you make all this money and you pay your own bills, and now you want me to come and pay your bills? I thought you're independent and don't need a man. So why do you need me to come and pay your bills again?
You're gonna help me with my high maintenance too. I'm expensive. What are we talking about? Who the f are you? You're tripping. Your personal life is your person. We ain't together. I just met you. I got my whoa.
For sure.
I supposed to pay for your whole life. I met you 2 weeks ago.
Right.
I've been knowing my brother 40 years, my cousins, and these people crazy. You hear me? They out their mind. But I
mean, I agree with him. Like, when two people get together, in my opinion, there shouldn't be any expectations, you know. In other words, let it be just basic respect of time. Hey, I'm putting time to go out with you. You're putting time to come out with me. You're looking good for me. I'm looking good for you. But it shouldn't be, as soon as you come into my life, now pay for my makeup, pay for my rent, food, and things like that. But it doesn't matter what I think. The women are still going to want rich men, and the men are just going to be frustrated and just check out of dating. But shout out to Mr. Organic. I'll put the link down below. All right, next up, we have this video. Let's see.
I don't know. Y'all might not like me for this, but I'm going to say it.
This lady is talking about how women don't like to, let's say, to start with a man who's down and, you know, just build on that. They just like to find a man who already has the money and then get with him. Another one, they don't like to build with a guy who's a good man, who has potential. In other words, they are more focused on the money rather than focused on the guy's potential, the guy's character. And she's saying women need to start prioritizing character over money. Good advice. I don't think it's ever gonna happen, but let's check her out. All right.
I don't know. Y'all might not like me for this, but I'm going to say it. Okay? The biggest thing you can do, the biggest L you can take is fumbling your man while he's trying to get his shit together. I'm not talking about a bum ass nigga, okay? I'm not talking about one of them. I'm talking about a man who genuinely has a plan, who knows where he's going, okay? He might not have it all together, but he's on his way there, okay? And the worst thing you could do as a woman is fumble that shit, okay? Yeah, I know. Oh, it's a give and take holding the man down because there's no guarantee that he'll still be there once he get on his feet or get to where he wants to be at. That's why you have to go for character. Okay, choose your man with a good character. But
They don't care about character, mama. And I appreciate your message. I appreciate you kind of trying to look out for the men also. Hey, saying, listen, some guys have good character. They don't have the money yet, but the women are not going to take the message because for them, they are swearing up and down that they don't want to do the 50-50 because they know once they get with a man who has a good man, good character, but he doesn't have the money yet, they're going to be in a 50-50 situation. He's not going to be able to pay all their rent. He's not going to be able to take them on expensive, trip vacations to Cancun and to Jamaica and to all the expensive places. He's not going to be able to pay for the expensive dinner dates, the $500 dinner dates they want these days. So they look at it like, I'm not going to build a man. They call it, I don't want to be Bob the Builder. You know what I mean? So for them, most women, any day of the day, any day of the week, they will choose a rich man with bad character over a good man, good character that doesn't have the money. It is what it is.
look how they look how much money they got. You better get you a nigga with some character. Cause hear me out. Y'all be quick to hold a nigga down while he in jail. Like niggas be locked up 8-9 months. Oh babe, I ain't going nowhere. This pussy yours. This shit don't lie. Daughter this, daughter that. Can't nobody fuck me. Let a man try to get his shit together. You ain't paying my bills. You ain't doing this. I can't go with you. Like, yo, you gotta pick your battles. You gotta pick your battles and choose wisely, okay? Get a man with some good character, and you ain't got to worry about it. You'll be set for life. You don't have nothing. Lock in with that man. If he doing what he supposed to do, lock in. Yeah. I mean, I'm just a messenger.
That's facts. Oh my gosh, she's just saying something like it's real. Some women will choose a guy who's in jail, doing time in jail, over a guy who's not in jail, never committed a crime, but he doesn't have the money, just trying to figure out things. But then they'll go put in time to go visit the guy in jail. But then the guy who has never committed a crime, they will claim they are too busy to make time to go see him or to spend time with him. They will claim they have to work 10 hours, 300 hours a week, but for the guy who's in jail, they'll write him letters, they'll call him every night, they will drive to go see him for 2 hours if the jail is 2 hours away. They will wait for him, but they will not wait for the guy who is trying to figure himself out and trying to do his best because he doesn't have the money. That was crazy. Let's go through the comments because the last part was crazy. Like what she said was fundamental. Look at this man. He said, I was losing money every day, stressing, gaining weight. Soon as Shorty left, I lost the weight, got promoted 3 times, relaxing and living, but I was the issue. So in this case, this guy had a woman with him when he was struggling, and she claimed he was the issue. But as soon as she left, things turned out good for him. And I think sometimes as men, you guys need to realize you may have to leave some people behind. You may have to leave the bad energy, the bad baggage behind because it's holding you back. Because as a man, if you're stressed every day about, getting into fights with your woman, you're coming from work, you go back home and you have to, it's always an argument. It's going to mess you up mentally, emotionally. You're not going to be focused on doing your best, Yes, you guys remember that story about Michael B. Jordan where, some chick was calling him a lame back in high school or some shit like that. And then when he made it as a big movie star, here she was trying to be friendly and shit. A man trying to get it together gets left if he can't pay bills. Facts. The mind behind bars gets loyalty and money on the books. That's what I just said, and that's what she said. It's like they will send money to a guy who's in jail and wait for him to get out of jail. But the guy who has never committed a crime, who's just a law-abiding citizen, women find it hard to even send him $20. Oh, I can never take care of a man, but they will do it for a guy in jail. That's crazy, man. Shout out to this lady. She was spitting. All right, so next, shout out to Lapif. They've been on fire. Great conversations lately. Marriage. It's been crazy. So without further ado, let me just play the video, man. Let's get into it.
This is Dr. Miles Monroe, and he was actually speaking on this. And it's not about like what you said, the reason. It's about a lack of integrity on the person who cheated part. So whatever reason you
I've
give,
heard many cases where y'all push back on me.
Whatever reason you give about why you did what you did, it's about a lack of integrity, that the person lacks integrity. Because you
look at the research.
You could have just as easily. Now, I know what you're talking about because I read the research too, but I was talking about in terms of it all boils down to that very reason, because that's not taking accountability either. So you could cheat. Oh, I didn't get attention, or he wasn't treating me like this, or she didn't do these things. She didn't make me feel like a man, whatever the reasons are. And I'm not saying they aren't valid, because your feelings are your feelings, right? But at the end of the day, regardless of what they did, the accountability falls on you once you cheat. And that is the lack of integrity.
No, but it's a lack of integrity on both. It's not just one-sided.
No, we're talking about cheating. And I'm not saying that whatever the other person did to make you feel bad isn't warranted for discussion and that they weren't wrong. What I'm saying is, once the other person steps out of that, it is a lack of integrity on their part. You could deal with the issue if your wife wasn't cooking dinner or wasn't giving you sex as much as you want or what have you. That's a whole separate conversation.
Well, I'm telling you, according to what the perspective I was given, there was communication. And oftentimes, according to this research, the men have communicated their needs and stated that, hey, look, if I'm not getting it here, I don't see why I should be faithful, and I feel like I should be able to go out and get it somewhere else.
Yeah, that has always bothered me. I've always wondered, like, so the wife will refuse to be intimate with the husband, because some guys have been in sexless relationships, marriages for years, and she doesn't care about his needs, right? Let's say she's not attracted to him anymore. But as soon as he gets a woman on the side, he's the bad guy. Now she's calling him names. Now it's like she forgets all the months he has been having conversations, trying to, make up and trying to find a solution. But as soon as he sleeps with someone on the side, now he's the worst guy in the whole world. That always bothers me.
It was stated many, many times before that happened. So the integrity thing is out of the window on that.
Mm.
This guy said, "Look, you don't even know pussy. I'm gonna get it from somewhere else. I'm not. It's not a threat or anything. That's just what's gonna happen." And I've even heard on this panels right here. I think some of y'all were present. We were talking about withholding sex and how women were saying they have a right to, and all this other stuff, and that if just because they don't feel like it, they should be able to not do it, when they're supposed to be submissive in a marriage, and you're supposed to submit your body to your husband, so to speak. Right. And you have women on this very panel saying that, I don't have to do it because I just don't want to do it.
Well, I wasn't that woman. I ain't never said that.
Like Carmen just said, she hit the nail on the head. I wasn't going to say it like this, but I like the way she said it better. Integrity is not warning of betrayal. You're absolutely, just because you tell a woman you're going to cheat, does not make it that you're showing integrity.
Yeah, but he had the integrity to have a conversation with you. Hey, babe, I mean, I'm trying to be intimate with you, but you don't want to be intimate with me anymore. It's 1 week, 2 months, 6 months, 2 years, and you expect him to just do nothing And now as soon as he gets a woman who's willing to be intimate with him, now you have an issue with it. Now you're calling him all sorts of names and how he's the worst guy you ever met in your life. But then when you're withholding sex for 2 years, you didn't care about his feelings. And now you're too hurt because a man you put in a sexless marriage finds another woman. And you know what's funny? When they keep a man in a sexless relationship or marriage for all this time, they still expect you to pay the bills. Just because she doesn't cook anymore, she's not intimate with you, she's not sleeping with you, it doesn't mean she wants you to stop doing your duties. No, she still expects you to pay the bills. That's always mind-boggling to me. Like, which man is going to sign up for such a deal?
Oh, he just responded to
not doing
betrayal.
it. The integrity would be,
You got to
I'm
understand
no
it.
longer happy in this marriage.
It's called
You're not living
reciprocation.
up to your obligations. I would like
It's
divorce.
reciprocation at that point. If you're gonna cheat me out of something that I deserve or something that I'm entitled to, then I'm gonna cheat you out of something that you're entitled to. It's a reciprocation.
No, get a divorce. That's my
Get a divorce, so you want him to divorce, lose his house, lose his kids, pay you child support, pay you alimony, and then you bring a new man in the house he paid for to clap your cheeks? That's why men don't just file for divorce. It's easy for you as a woman to say file for divorce if you don't like it, but he knows he's going to lose way too much in the divorce. That's why men are not quick to file for divorce.
my point. My point
Betrayal
is
can only be
integrity.
committed by the initiator. Once you've already done that, it's no longer betrayal. Now it's get back.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true.
So once you start betraying me, you know, already persuaded me or convinced me or compelled me to marry you and sold me that, hey, look, this is what I'm going to be able to lay with for the rest of my life. I'm going to have access to your body for the rest of my life. Then you pull that away. That is where the betrayal began.
And I would argue that threatening to leave or saying you would leave or choosing to leave is also lack of integrity.
No,
Because
it's not. It's not.
It is because if you look at it
You
this
said
way,
if death do a part, Richard the part.
yeah, that's a commitment. So
And
if you say,
so when the worst
and integrity says,
and
and
sex with
integrity,
him, then that was the worst.
no, but hold on,
checkmate.
wait. But integrity says, but integrity is also in the face of adversity, and you still stick to your guns. You still stick to your moral compass of what you committed to. That would be.
But you committed.
And I never said I was going to leave. I just said I was
So
going
if you leave, it might as well be seen as the same thing as cheating on, because both
I'm
of
still
them
gonna come
have
home.
the same weight of lack of integrity.
But y'all know at the end of the day, y'all are trying to twist it and go to the extreme. So
No.
if you want to go, hold on. If you want to go there and you're talking about, oh, you made a commitment for better or worse, her not giving him sex might be the worst. He still has an obligation to be committed to the relationship. And
He's committed. He's coming home. He didn't say he's leaving that family. He's committed. He's still paying the bills. Yeah, sure, you don't give him sex, but he's paying the bills. That cancels out, but he can still go cheat. That's the worst too, right? So that means you accept him as well. If you want him to accept you not giving him sex, you can accept him getting the sex from somewhere else. But what it sounds to me like, this woman wants men to take the wrong and the worst part of the deal. I'm not giving you sex. I'm not cooking for you. I'm not submitting to you. I'm not going to talk to you crazy. But because you say the vows, just live with it and do nothing else. Pay the bills, be a nice husband. Just let me do what I want and just watch as the years go, year after year after year. I'm going to be a bitchy wife to you and just accept it. Just because you said some vows. Guess what? I'm going to do all that. I'm not going to leave, but I'm going to be on the side doing my thing. Fair game, right?
and show integrity. However, if he chooses to cheat, he's not showing integrity. So if you're going to make the decision not to show integrity, then leave the marriage anyway. Why stay married?
So why stay married if you're not going to be intimate with him? If you feel like you cannot have sex with your husband, why are you still married to him? Why don't you talk about that part? Why doesn't the wife leave then?
Wait. At that point, if we're going to say that both of them are a lack of integrity, you don't get to pick and choose which lack of integrity you get. You just try to choose the one that hurts you the least by saying, why don't you just leave me instead of cheat on me?
Exactly.
You don't get to pick how.
Because showing integrity is just because if one person does something wrong, that you don't turn around and do the wrong thing too.
Right. No, that's
what that is. And
right.
what I'm saying, if he or she steps out because
No. Hold on, wait, Bruce. I agree. No. I agree.
Arguing about that.
No, I agree. But I'm looking at both of them the same way. To leave is the same as to cheat. Both of them have the same lack of integrity in it. If she's not doing something that you like and you say, I'm gonna leave, that's still a lack of integrity because you're still violating your vows.
Facts.
Whether you know what I mean. So if he decides to cheat or whether he decides to leave, both of them have the same lack of integrity by the definition of it.
Yes.
I'm just saying, as when women say, sometimes when it's ain't even just women, but people will say, well, why don't you decide to leave rather than cheat? You don't get to tell somebody how they have to react to the things that you do wrong to them.
Facts. It's like, I'm not going to give you sex, but I'm also going to tell you how you should react. You know how crazy that is? It's like, she's going to tell you, I'm not going to cook for you. I'm not going to give you sex. I'm not going to be nice to you. But hey, don't react the way you should react. No, I'm going to tell you exactly how to react. You know how you should react? Keep paying my bills. Be nice to me. Don't cheat on me. Just watch me be. What?
Now they gonna make the decision they gonna make, but don't say, "Oh well, I would have much rather you left me than cheat." No,
exactly.
You're just trying to pick the one that hurts you the least.
Facts.
It's still about you. You're trying to be selfish in how somebody responds to the things that you've done wrong to them.
Facts.
Rather than accepting the fact that okay, they did cheat on me, and I gotta walk away. Now I have to make a decision on my own. But you can't tell them, "Oh well, you lack integrity if you cheat on me, but you don't lack integrity if you leave me." No, you don't get to pick and choose that. Both of them are a lack of integrity.
Yep.
He gets to choose they get to choose whichever one they want to react to you on. You ain't giving them no ass. He could choose to leave you or cheat on you.
Facts.
I'm telling you, I've been in consultations with men who've been married and they had no sex with their wife for 5, 15, 10 years.
That's crazy.
No sex.
That's crazy.
And if you ain't gonna do that, I'm telling you, these men won't leave their wife. But if you're a type of woman that's moving like that, if you don't want to give your man no coochie, you need to go out and go get some coochie and bring it back to him.
Facts. And the only reason those guys stay in those marriages for so long is because they don't want to lose their houses. They don't want to lose their kids. And then they don't want to have to pay alimony and then let the woman bring a new man in the house he bought and clap her cheeks. So they just stay and cheat.
Or let him go get his coochie.
That's my point. I guess that's what y'all are missing. If a person is that unhappy, you said 10, 15 years they haven't, been with their wife or whatever. At that point, why call her a wife? Because you no longer have a unless there's some medical condition. Then you don't
desire to have sex with him.
So then my thing is going out and bring him something back home or whatever. My thing is just leave so you can get whatever it is you want to get.
He can't just leave because he will lose his house and lose his kids and then have to pay alimony. She doesn't get it because women are not in this position all the time. She doesn't get it. For them, their first solution is to break up a marriage, is to break up a relationship. No wonder the divorce rate is 80% filed by women, because for them, that's always their first solution. Let me break up. Let me divorce him as soon as something happens that they don't like, because they don't have any serious consequences.
Why does he have to?
Huh?
Why does he have to?
I guess I'm asking, what's the point in staying?
Because you're married.
No. I'm gonna keep it. No, Bruce. Let's keep it all the way.
In the cases I was speaking about, the reason why these men stand is because they would get destroyed in the court.
Exactly.
And these women are typically saying, "Go ahead and divorce and see what happens."
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like they're pushing them into a corner. And I'm telling you from the experiences that are being shared with me, it's like a trapping mechanism. So it's easy for you to say, why don't you just leave? It just don't work like that for these men.
Oh, I wouldn't even argue from that perspective, but he's absolutely
not. Because at the end of the day, if she finds out that he's cheating, he's going to end up in divorce anyway.
But she don't find out.
But all right, so kind of to explain that to you, mistaken. All right, here's the easy way to explain it. What Bruiser is talking about is a situation where men are pushed into, like, we're talking about the man that's being denied, right? And he's pushed into a corner where he knows losing her will cost him everything.
Yes.
So, and she knows that. So even
She's
though she knows, so
weaponizing
she's weaponizing it. I don't have to do any of this for you, and I dare you to leave me, right?
Bingo.
So what he's saying is, what Bruce is saying is, this is where a man would do it, because he ain't talking about a man that'll tell her, I'm about to bring somebody home then, because she's just gonna cheat, she's just gonna leave him anyway. He wouldn't tell her that. He would go behind her back and get his needs met somewhere else in hopes that she doesn't find out, because she's already threatened him and said, I dare you to leave me. That means she already knows that leaving her is not an option.
And this is why men are done with marriage, if we're going to be honest. Because can you imagine someone threatening you to take your house and your keys and everything, and they're not even being intimate with you, and they dare you to do anything? So it's like they have this thing, they're dangling it. It's like, hey, if you mess up, don't forget, I'm going to take your assets. Hey, if you don't do what I want, I'm going to take your house. Just remember, you better be a good boy. You know, if you're not nice to me, I'm going to take you to the courts and they'll give me everything. You know what I mean? Like, men look at that and like, you know what? Do I really want to be in that situation for 10, 15, 20, 30 years and always going to bed knowing at any day she can wake up and destroy you? Men are like, no, I ain't doing that.
It's not on the table because she knows that he will lose everything in that particular situation. So that's why a lot of men aren't honest about their cheating. Now, the dude that's honest, he don't give a damn whether you leave him or not.
Facts. He ain't got nothing to lose.
He ain't got shit to lose with you. He gonna say, I'm gonna bring another woman home, so either you get with her or get gone. We're not talking about the type of man that Bruiser are talking about is the type of man where women know that he ain't got no choice. He's stuck there. He
ain't got no damn choice.
Facts.
And that's for a lot of men, that is a very scary situation to be in.
Facts, especially for years and years, and they have kids involved and they have property assets involved. Because let's face it, most guys attain their property and money after marriage. Few men attain it before marriage, and those who do these days either sign prenups or don't even get married at all. But most other guys gain their money, their property after marriage, which means they're gonna go half and half because they didn't sign prenups for the most cases. So guys look at that and like, you know what? Marriage is not really a good deal. Anyway, shout out to Lapif. This was a great conversation, man. You know, to see the difference between men and women and how we think and how we see problems. The women are thinking, I'm going to run away. I'm just going to file for divorce. I'm going to leave you if you do something I don't like. The men are thinking, I'm going to get destroyed. Let me stay and just do something on the side. You know? All right, next up. Shout out to Anton Daniels, man. He's been on fire these days. Great conversations. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Like, nobody is gonna bother you. We don't want to hear about your how many baby daddies you got at home.
And we don't want to hear about how many dogs you have. Your dog. And then on top, let me finish.
No. See, now the real hold on. See, the real you is coming.
No, I'm not hiding anything. To go around, let me finish.
No, hold on. The real you is coming out now. You don't want to hear about your dog. Fuck you. Now. No.
She's dying.
The thing that y'all don't understand is people know that y'all got a negative disposition towards them. White people know y'all hate them. And then when they return the same energy back to you, when they say, well, don't nobody want to hear about your ghetto kids at home that keep on writing on the wall all day, then you're going to get offended. You can talk about their dogs and say, fuck you, bitch. But then if they call you an angry black woman and it's, and this is where the black fatigue comes from, is because y'all always victims and you're never the aggressor. For some reason or another, y'all are always the ones that get offended. And then when you finally get called out on your, then it's, oh my God, I can't believe it. Diversity, equity, inclusion, and all of this other bull. You just exhibited exactly what men deal with on a regular basis. Now, white people are dealing with it. See, this is what men have been going through inside of their households. They've been knowing and they've been dealing with the angry black woman syndrome for centuries, for decades. Now, white people, the very ones that y'all join forces with, especially white women, they saying, okay, Shaquanda, how many times are you going to be aggressive in the workplace?
I mean, Anthony's being funny, but I mean, it's even the ladies. The ladies are all laughing because it's just funny. But it's the truth, man. At some point, people are getting tired. Black men go tired first. They call us sassy. You know, you get canceled if you say anything to hold the ladies accountable. They call you broke. They call you gay. You know, if they don't like anything that you tell them. You know, they say you can't handle me. You can't tell me what to do. But it's like, white women are like, we are tired of you too. And the ladies don't like it. Let's go.
And how much chicken are you going to steal out of a refrigerator? And when they then call y'all out on y'all boy, now it's you. We don't like to hear your dogs, and I didn't want to go to the potluck because your cat probably was standing on the counter. Now it's coming out. See, now we can start. Now we can get somewhere. Now we can get somewhere because they can see the resting face. Y'all don't hide y'all emotions well. You think that everybody is supposed to tiptoe around y'all. And now they have black fatigue. Q, now you see what black fatigue is. You're muted, Dalen. I'm sorry. Your mic must have got unblowed. You're not muted on our end. You're muted on your end. We can't
Dalen, your mic not working.
She's going off.
Well, while she's trying to figure that out, as someone who has been in corporate America, who has had upper leadership positions as well, I know how to conduct myself in a setting, and I have been reprimanded for being very to myself and being quiet, right? I'm not the type of person who causes problems. I know how to appropriately express myself. And even then, I've even had to, what we quote unquote, code switch to be even more palatable so that I do.
You have to code switch if you're a nice person. I've never had to code switch in corporate America. I was just normal.
I said code switch because to me that's in more so in layman's terms, but I've even had to, what's the word I'm looking for?
Oh, no, you said it the right way. You meant it the way you said it.
Oh.
Sounds like she segregates herself. You know, sounds like they come in with this preconceived notion that the other people don't like them. So that's why she's talking about code switching, because she thinks to assimilate and interact with other people, she's code switching, which Anthony is saying, just be normal, just be yourself, have conversations, talk about stuff, you know, but they come in with a preconceived notion that white people don't like them. So I think that's why it comes off like they're, you know, they're playing victim, because they already think, oh, they don't like me, so I have to pretend like I like them and talk to them. But it's like, just be normal. Until they say something or they treat you in a certain way, then you can be like, hey, they don't like me. But you cannot just say they don't like me. I think they don't like me.
Okay, then we'll just keep that. I've had to kind of change it up a little bit because I felt like even if I'm my quiet, authentic self, that's still an issue. I've had that be an issue. Oh, why don't you talk to everyone else? Or why don't you do that? It's being perceived this way. Mind you, I do my job, go home, I speak to people, I say hello, but because I'm not doing some of the extras, then
that's what's required when you want to excel and get into upper leadership. You have to do exceptional things. It's not.
I agree. Like, we have all been at work, and if your work environment is not, you know, like just even construction, there's always that kind of work family dynamic that can go on where people just talk, because you cannot just focus on your job and that's it. You have to interact with other people around you, and it has to be authentic. You cannot fake it. You feel me? Because those are people you're going to see every day. You might as well get along with them. You cannot just pretend and think you're just going to do your job and just focus on it and don't have, because we're going to be honest, work sometimes is 60% how you interact with other people and 40% your real job, if we're going to be honest.
Not just about whether you do your job. If you just want the job, then you do your job and go home and nobody is going to bother you. If you want to excel and you want to go into upper leadership and you are now a representation in the face of the company, guess what? People have to like you. And so it's not their job to like you. It's your job to make yourself more accessible and your job to make yourself valued in the face of the people that you have to lead. That's called leadership.
You're not wrong, but what I'm saying is that sometimes as Black women, that's a little bit harder to do.
It's not.
See what I told you? The victim mentality. She's saying even just being cordial and just talking to people and interacting freely is hard to do. So they already have this preconceived notion that it's hard to interact with people. Just interacting with people is hard to do. What do you mean? So for me, it's a mindset. It's a victim mindset. It's a they don't like me. It's a I'm hard to deal with. You know, rather than saying how can I do better? How can I be better at interacting with people so they don't look at me like I'm just angry all the time?
Let me go, babe. Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah.
It's not. No. Hold on. It's not. Guess what? There are plenty of women that I know that are likable people. People don't hate them. They're not problematic. They're always seeking them out as project managers in order to do certain jobs. They get exceptional reviews. They level up in corporate America. They're a part of fraternities and sororities.
Black woman, I need you to come at the front. I have a question.
And they do great things all the time. And guess what? They're Black women. And they don't have problems. They don't have issues with their personality. They don't have to go in and make things difficult. They are very much exceptional. They are very high in whatever their respective careers are. They network effectively. People like them and men love them.
Facts.
Yo, hold on. This is so funny to me how women who have the ultimate trump card in life, you guys literally have privilege in corporate America. All you got to do is be pretty, smile, do your job, and be likable. For some reason, y'all fuck that up too. How? Men love promoting women that look good, take care of themselves, smell exceptional, and get along with people. It's not difficult. You guys get front of the line. You get to take care of things. You get the first right of refusal, all of that. We have, and y'all got laws. Well, y'all previously had laws that encourage promotion and all of this stuff. How do you fuck that up? How do you make it so difficult? And I'm going to tell you why. Because y'all gossip, y'all ugly, y'all negative, y'all always disrespectful to people. You expect for people to tiptoe around you. And
not happy.
And people are tired, especially white people, Indian people, Asian people. They're tired of looking at you, coming in, look like who the fuck did it and why. You show up late every day. You always running your mouth. And you never really actually add any value to the organization. And when you don't get a promotion, it's everybody else's fault except for yours. People are tired of listening to Black women complain about their plight in life. You complain about your husbands. You complain about your kids. You complain about your job. You complain about the fucking color of the street.
I think what happened is, you know, they always scream, Black men can't handle me. Oh, you gotta handle me. You gotta accept me the way I can. They tell Black men all those things. But I think what happened is they thought, because, you know, they scream at Black men. Black men are like, okay, whatever. What can I do? Our moms, Black moms, you know, scream at their own sons. The sons. So Black men are trained to, quote unquote, handle or deal with Black women. Like, a Black man would be more surprised to meet a kind, soft, nurturing woman rather than loud, ratchet, kinda ghetto, snatching souls and shit like that out of thin air. That's you. Most guys are used to that, Black men. So it's very surprising if a man meets a kind, nice, soft, feminine, supportive woman. Some guys don't even know how to deal with that. So Black men are used to it. But what I think Black women thought would work, they thought the way they treat Black men, other races of people will accept that. But other races of people are saying, hey, listen, we can't handle that shit. If your Black men can handle that shit and say nothing, we're going to say something. And Black women don't like it because they are used to Black men just saying nothing.
playing to the a lot of words
No,
right
no,
now.
no. Y'all just come. I don't know if y'all are ever happy.
Well, let you know.
Y'all
And
don't even like each other. No, y'all don't even like each other. I've never seen a group of black women go on a trip together and come back, and all of them are still the same towards each other when they get back.
Don't get trapped into that statement, y'all.
Y'all don't like each other.
Okay.
Did you know that black lesbians specifically,
have the highest,
No. We're not just talking about lesbians. Black lesbians are the worst of the worst.
You know why?
They hate each other. They get broken up and divorced more than anybody.
Yes, it's
That's crazy. How do y'all have worse divorce rates than regular lesbians?
Because lesbians ain't supposed to be bumping coochies anyway.
Why are the other lesbians doing better than the black lesbians?
No, they not. They're into some weird. They're into some weird shit.
No, they don't. They just.
I don't want to talk about why.
No. They worse than the men.
Them ladies be together, right? Oh,
they're worse than the men, but they bump coochies quietly, and then they keep it moving. Y'all be fighting with each other. When I see white lesbians, they just all look like Rosie O'Donnell.
Because they are smart enough to beat they bitch.
When I see black lesbians, one of them want to look like Future, the other one look like
Manny.
Ellen was beating out her wife.
So now, you know what I'm saying? I seen two lesbians arguing outside of a new spot that opened up in the city the other day. I said, what is wrong with them? Why are they so aggressive towards each other? What is wrong? Have y'all ever prayed? Have y'all ever talked to God and said to yourself, no, think about it for a second. Have y'all ever talked to God and said to myself, why did I come out of the womb angry? What is it about me that...
Man, it's the condition, man. We've been conditioned so much. It's like they wear aggression on their sleeves. In fact, you may find, like, if a group of 5 black women, even the one who's the most quiet, the softest, if you catch her on a bad side, she's gonna bring out her aggression, because the friends will make her think that she's a weak, she's not a strong, independent woman if she's nice and soft to people. It's like that aggression, or it's like they want to wear the aggression. It's like aggression is a badge of honor. You know, I can guarantee you guys, there are guys who have been in relationships with black women and they've never heard her be soft. Whether it's in the bedroom, whether it's a birthday, whether it's always loud and crazy. And so once a guy like that meets a woman who's nice and soft, he's just gonna shy away, or he doesn't know how to deal with it because he's not used to it. From his mama being aggressive to all the women he has met in his life, to his sisters, to his aunties, they're all aggressive. It's like we've been conditioned so bad, man. It's bad.
Okay, let me throw this out there.
What is it about me that makes me crazy? Why do I put on so much perfume and require everybody to suffer through it at the corporate workplace?
You
are raised by a black woman. You are married to a black woman.
Why is it
your
that
perception of black women so negative?
See, what she just said is why men have been shutting up for so many times, for so long. Because as soon as a black man says, hey, I don't like this about you, I wish you could change these, I don't like how you talk, I don't like the aggression, you know what they say? Your mama is black, your daughter is black. It's like, what does that have anything to do with me trying to hold you accountable? And then once men shut up, they're like, oh, you guys don't open up, you don't like to be vulnerable, you don't like to share your emotions. But it's like, when I share my emotions, you gaslight me, you don't listen to me, you attack me, you say I hate women. It's like, so damned if I do, damned if I don't. So men just shut up and be like, you know what, I'll go try Becky over here, I'll go get on a plane, go to Brazil, you know.
It's not negative. It's just facts. Facts are negative.
No.
Then that means
It's your turn.
No, come on, don't get trapped.
When I address the men, and I call them Dusty and I say, hey man, get your money up, get your life together or whatever, they just take their L and they make the adjustment and they level up and they win in life. Whenever I address Black women and I say, hey, listen, you're a little bit dusty and you've been sucking a little bit too much dick over the last 2 years, then they say, oh my God, you hate Black women. How do I hate you when I'm listen, if I hated you, I wouldn't tell you that you sucking too much dick. I would just join the line. But I don't join the line. What I do is I say, hey, Black.
I mean, I get it, he's being funny, but he's being honest at the same time. He's being real. It's like as soon as a man try to hold Black women accountable, they attack him. They're like, don't tokenize. Your mama is Black. Your sister is Black. You hate women. And it's like, no, I just don't like when you're too loud. Is it so bad that I can't even say nothing? I can't try to be like, hey, change.
Woman, stop, get up off your knees. They a little too ashy, and stop letting people use you as a rag. I'm holding you accountable because I want you to do better, not because I want to see you on your knees. I want to see you on your feet.
Exactly.
If you have to hold a Black woman accountable, you're always going to fail. That's something that has to pick up on. And I don't know how we go from workplace etiquette to bulldagging, hunching. I don't know why we.
I'm addressing it across all. Listen.
We were talking about how Black women have to deal with, what do they call it, white fragility. So to Jess's and Miss Deja's point, the white woman I was talking about went and told everybody that she was trying to fight her. She called her a B word. And it's like you had to add that stuff on because you knew if you went and told HR, well, I said, did she want a fucking or a freaking gold star? And she turned around and said, she didn't want shit from me. HR is gonna hold her accountable and your ass accountable.
Have y'all think about it like this. This is the question. No. Think about it like this, Dalen. Let me help you.
Okay.
When you think about how you speak and how you act, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Could you live with another you?
No.
Me? Absolutely.
No. With all the snatching souls and, and loud and sassy, whatever they do, the mannerisms, they couldn't live with each other. That's why there are very few friends between each other. That's why they're always getting in fights with each other. If we're going to be honest. So now imagine a man enduring that for years and years and years. Like I said, some guys have never met a nice, soft, feminine Black woman. Because from their mama, from their sisters, from their aunties, all they know is aggressive women.
No. Think about it before you answer.
Okay.
Yes.
From personality and how I carry myself.
Live, work, and play with you, a duplicate of you, and say, I had to work with this person every single day for the rest of my life.
Absolutely, because I'm easy to work with. I'm about
shit.
So why don't you let people tell you what it is before
because I'm not gonna let y'all lie to me tonight.
I used to lie about my professional work history. That's one of the main. This is why Black women thrive because they know how.
What happens when you call you a stupid bitch with a dog?
But that's the thing. I would never call you. First of all, we're not talking about our dogs. We're not talking about our men.
No, you just said it to me. Because see, the thing about you, think about it. The thing about you is that you know what you thinking about you.
I do.
You the one that be thinking it. So just because you don't say it, don't mean that you're not thinking it. So when you realize that the other you is looking at you like a fucking bitch and saying, yo dumbass. How are you gonna react?
Girl.
How are you gonna react to you?
Well, I wouldn't say, well, Dalen, you're being a bitch. I'd be like, well, bitch, I'm not being a bitch, I'm being a cunt, like every day. So let's just do this work, get it done, and then we can go home.
And you think that makes sense in society today.
You said for myself.
You can't understand why when y'all go into a restaurant, all of the servers say, oh shit.
Well, absolutely not, because the Black women you're talking about are the ones that have not learned how to conduct themselves appropriately. And
you don't fit that stereotype, right?
No, I don't. And you know what, Anton, I think the truth and reality in which I'm displaying now contradicts the lies you try to purport about me. I'm gonna say that again. how I really am contradicts what you believe about me. Like you think I'm this ghetto.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about a reflection of what. Listen. When I'm on my way into Delta and I drive by the Spirit line, right, and I see all of my queens.
I like Spirit.
Ain't nothing wrong with Spirit. I heard that they got great rewards. And I see all of my queens.
Nobody ever died on Spirit, but these other
That's a fact. That's a fact. Shout out to Spirit. I have no problems with you. Spirit, if you sponsor a show, make sure you get in touch with me. When I'm driving by Delta and I go by that other terminal, because you got to go past the other terminal to get to the Delta terminal over here at DTW. And I look over and I see that they got their pillows.
Bonnets.
A lot of their pillows be for their knees because they about to go get their BBLs and stuff like that, right?
Oh my God.
And I see him talking to the gate agent, and it's always this.
Yeah, the twisting the fingers, the neck. It's like I could never do it. Like personally, I don't think I've ever encountered a woman. I've seen it like happen to other guys, but I've like in public, I've never like engaged with a black woman doing all this because I probably would walk away. I wouldn't stay there. Some guys stay there for it. I don't have the patience for that, so I wouldn't stay.
Because I can't hear them. I got my window rolled up. And the gate agent is sitting there like, oh shit. And they trying to stuff y'all fucking bag in because you're trying to get the fees taken off and all of that shit, right? Do you realize that this is not a stereotype, that this is exactly who y'all are?
It's not everybody has a one side and another side. Every race, you have white people, rednecks, black people, niggers, or niggas. You have Indians and dirty people because it stank over there. Like every race has its.
No racist you are.
A and B. That isn't racist. That was prejudice. But at the same
It's the same
time,
thing.
we have to acknowledge that because I'm being prejudiced or racist to my own people. Every time we defend the quality people that are facing the same result, you come bringing up Shaquitas and Shaquanas. Well, let's talk about the Lolas and the Qs and the Justice and the Jaylens. Why don't we talk about?
They're not out in public displaying. If they are doing it, we don't see it on a regular basis.
You got trapped. He just diverted the conversation to.
I ain't got trapped. I'm a grown ass woman. What is you talking about, girl?
Also, the ladies who call themselves it's they're a different type of black women and they're non-ghetto or ratchet. They don't check the women who are ghetto or ratchet. They stay away from them. They never even try to hold them accountable. You know, even in social media, in the comments, you can see these ones who call themselves, oh, we're non-ghetto. They agree with everything Sexy Red and all those other ones the gorillas do, you know, on social media. They agree with them. So it's like, okay, sure, you're not acting like these other ratchet women, but are you speaking up? You're not.
We was not talking about.
What I am saying is, it don't have nothing to do with no. We're talking about the majority and the loudest voices. Now,
Yes.
if you truly believe these things, get louder, shut them down, shame them. Like, make shaming great again. I should get a hat.
Yes, honey. Yes.
But is that what we were addressing, Nikki? Because I don't like
addressing a statement you made because you just been running your mouth. So I really wanted to address what you just said because it don't make sense. Like it just really don't make sense. I want you all to think logically. Okay, that's all I want. I love y'all. That's why I do what I do. That's literally why I just do the work I do in the community. That's why I do what I do. That's why I say what I say. Like, I love y'all, but y'all have got to stop. Like, y'all are literally, I'm gonna hit my Jasmine Crockett. Y'all are literally damn mess.
Well, maybe that's why you carrying on the way you
say nothing about liking. I said I'm finna be Jasmine Crockett.
I wouldn't say nothing of the like.
Because I know you probably love her.
Why would I? Why would I love everyone on here knows that I'm a supporter. I act like Jasmine.
You don't act like
a ratchet hood booger that has no home training.
Well, I don't know if you act like a ratchet hood booger, but you are loud and you are the stereotype that we are talking about.
Oh. Yo, there's nothing more I love than when an older class full of class woman holds another woman accountable. Because let's be honest, she's been talking the most from every other woman on the panel. But this lady's like, you know what? You're loud. You're ratchet. Because if you're not ratchet, she'll try to talk too, but she was not talking the way this one is talking. So shout out to Anton. I'll put the link down below, man. This was a great conversation. It's funny. Anton is funny. I didn't know he had this in him. All right. Shout out to Anton Daniels. Women don't like when black men marry white women. Black women don't like when black men marry white women. Let's get into it.
I was in the barbershop today, and it was a young black male coming there. He might have been between that 22 to 24 age group. Very handsome, very, very handsome. The young man says, yeah, I'm having a little problem. It's a lot going on because I'm marrying a white woman, and my family, they're not too happy about it. Robert was just kind of speaking to him, and he said, hey, where'd you meet her? And he said, oh, I met her in college. And he was like, oh, okay, because, back in the day, you had all the girls, what made you decide that she was the one? So he says that, he come from, of course, the hood and had a hard knock life, just with one mom and no dad. And he went to college. It was a college that was mixed, but more so of a white college. And he start, meeting up with white friends. And, they introduced him to another whole world that he didn't know existed. And this man said, I never knew this side of life. My life was always loud and chaotic and always disruptive with my family. He said, it's like if you're in a crowded room and you're surrounded by chaos and just everything is just chaotic and noisy and loud and disruptive, and you take some headphones and you put the headphones on and you can drown everything out, because when you put the headphones on, it's quiet and it's peace. He said, that's what my fiance is to me and her white family. That whiteness, he said, they're my headphones and they are my peace. He said, and then black women in my black side of the family, they are the noise. They are the chaos.
Okay. The J No show, since we barely heard from you, you want to start us off first? Are white women black men's peace nowadays?
I think it just depends on their environment. With what she described with that gentleman, his environment was just loud, chaotic, and it didn't seem as though he was around any black women who basically didn't have that, who didn't give him any sense of peace. It seems as though it was just kind of more of the same, basically, unfortunately. I don't think necessarily that white women are black men's peace. I think it's all about your environment. Men, they're going to want peace. They want you to provide them peace. And wherever they happen to find that, it's going to happen. I don't think that it's necessarily specific to white women, but I think it solely depends on their environment. So if they're in an environment where they can be around black women who can offer them peace, then they'll marry a black woman. If they're around a Hispanic woman who can give them peace, Indian, Asian, whoever gives them peace and allows them to respects them, and they're in their feminine space, their feminine energy, I think that's who they'll be attracted to.
I mean, I definitely agree with this lady, because men like the path of least resistance. So any woman who gives a man peace, he will go. But I think that's also takes a type of man who has realized that he needs peace. Because let's be honest, if most men grow up in single mother households, and we know how chaotic, aggressive, this and that it usually is in the household, in single mother households, when can a man learn? Because most guys are going to be conditioned to think chaos and aggression and being loud, a woman being masculine. They're going to think that's the norm. So as a man grows, he needs to realize that peace will do him some good. So some guys realize as they grow up that, hey, listen, I grew up in an environment or in a household where it was all chaotic. My sisters, my aunties, they're all being aggressive all the time, and I don't want any of that. I want some peace. So if it's a white woman, Asian woman, African woman, Jamaican woman, that's where he will go. I kind of agree. But the man has to realize he needs peace. He has to go out of the chaotic environment.
Okay. Anybody disagree? This is not the first time I've heard men say white women are more pleasant. They don't have attitudes. They're easier to deal with. They're more catering.
So I don't know if it's fully the environment, because there's men that they grew up in different environments and say the same thing. They went to PWIs or HBCUs and they've said the same thing. So I don't know if it's fully the environment.
I think it's the certain kind of white women that are that way. I don't believe all white women just straight across the board just don't be having attitudes. Because I grew up with a lot of white women that was, raised in hood, and they pretty much are like the same as black women, with the attitudes and everything. But I will say I do definitely agree with sis right here, and also I believe the mom, the mother, the grandmother also have like a huge influence on which way they're gonna go. Because if you have the mom that's like, don't you bring no white woman over here. And if the guy is more of a rebellious kind of guy, like, man, I'm gonna do what I want to do and just do it anyway, or if he's like, nah, I'm gonna respect my mom, I love my mom, I don't want to do that, I'm not gonna bring no white woman home. So I think like the mom and the aunts and the family kind of influences them as well. If you have someone that's like, more open to it, then it'll give them that idea like, oh, if they do find someone that they connect with that's not black, then they'll be like, okay, well, let me bring them home. I just feel like, it just depends.
Yeah, she's definitely right, and that's why I said, as a man, if you've grown up in a chaotic environment, especially in a single household, where the aunties, the sisters, your mom, they're all aggressive, they control your life, they're telling you what to do because you got no dad to guide you, so you have to rely on them, right, on your life's decisions. As you grow as a man, you have to seek that out. You have to seek out, okay, how can I live my life? You can look at other people, try to emulate what they're doing, but you have to seek that out, because some guys, unfortunately, are stuck in the same conditioning of aggressiveness. They meet a woman who's soft and nice, they're like, what is that? I'm not used to that. I'm used to being aggressive. They may even think a woman is manipulating them because she's being nice and soft towards them, even if that's who she is, because they're used to chaotic environments, households, right? So as a man, if he doesn't grow out of that, he's going to still be used to the whole toxic, traumatic experiences, trauma bonding.
I don't think white women are the same as black women. That's crazy. I just feel like different cultures are different. I went to a white college. I've said this multiple times. I went to a white college.
No, like I live in Southern Louisiana. No, trust me, I live in Southern Louisiana. It kind of, the lines is blended. It gets blended.
Southern Louisiana is a completely different category of white women.
We like another country down here. It's like we different out here. So that's why I say that. But I know it's certain there's different types of lily people or white people, that I shall say. But
so that they fit the bill because of their white, like you're a good match because you're white, or you have good character and you just so happen to be white. Because if you think about it, the white women pool in America, they're going to be white people that had a better way of living as opposed to black women. Not that it's like I'm saying that, it's just true. Like white women are not going to be ghetto like how we are. So is it because they're white, or is it because you're just a good quality woman and you just so happen to be white? Like, are you putting that in the whiteness or in the good character? Like
what makes a woman ghetto, for example?
Ghetto, well, I don't like the term ghetto. Ratchet, if it's the appropriate word. And I'll say what makes be ratchet is not how she dresses, the type of conversation that she has that's rooted in degeneracy, even sometimes the type of music that she listens to, the type of social environments that she likes to be in, how she handles conflict, what is considered entertainment, stuff like that. So when this video was like saying,
isn't that choices though? All the stuff
that's what I mean
are choices that people can make every day. So
that's what I'm saying. It sounded like she was saying, well, I'm gonna go white because I know white is automatically right. And I'm like, these women aren't quality for you because they're white. They're just good, fitting women, just like we have good black fitting women. But the issue is that we have too many, and there's so many women in our black community spaces that are less than mediocre. or so it's kind of like the pool shrinks when women don't choose to be the best versions of themselves. But because you have more white women, you'll have more white women that are going to choose to be the best versions of themselves as opposed to black women. So I think
I mean, how can they be even choose better if they didn't have the examples set? And this is both to men and women, honestly, to black men and black women. If you didn't have the dad and mom at home to show you how a man and woman interact, in a nice, peaceful way, not aggressive, not fighting, working together, supporting each other. You see them kiss, you see them hold hands, you see them going out on date nights. You see them never arguing, never in conflict, never in courts of law fighting for child custody, child support. If you didn't see that growing up, the chances are you are never going to be that. You would have to meet someone who grew up in that kind of environment to help you become that kind of person. Otherwise, you're going to have to do so much work on yourself to seek that knowledge, the information, to make sure you avoid the same, experience you grew up with, to change your reality as a grown man or a grown woman. So yes, the women are out here, but how many actually grew up in that kind of environment? Because as kids, when we grow up, we try to emulate what we saw as kids, because it's ingrained in us. We have to actually, if not, we have to grow up and learn to be different from what we experienced as kids.
that's why they're saying, like, I'm going to go white because I have a better chance of having a quality partner. But I don't think it's because of the whiteness. It's because of who they choose to be and the quality of their character. That's all.
It's the connection. Then we connection.
I'll go ahead. I was gonna say, didn't we touch on this last week? Even the one guy who said he only dated white women. He said he doesn't necessarily think that they're better or they're more of X, Y, and Z. He just says that they're more strategic and they're in it for the long term, the long game, whereas black women aren't necessarily not going for anything. And I'll say this.
But that's because they saw the dynamic in the household. That's because their parents encouraged them to follow the same blueprint of, hey, listen, get married, get a husband, raise a family, work together, support each other, because they saw the mom and dad doing the same thing. So whether you call it strategic, which is not, there's nothing wrong with that, at least they're being strategic in terms of trying to raise a family rather than strategic in terms of they don't know what a family structure looks like.
Y'all, for the most part, we don't care who you date. They could be black, white, purple, yellow, whatever. The issue that comes into play is, why is it that every time we talk about white women dating black men, there's always something negative said about black women?
Because black women are always saying, you hate your mama black, you hate black women, you a sellout, all these things every time a black man gets a white woman. And it's funny because they only complain when it's a rich black man. When it's a guy at Walmart or McDonald's, they don't care because he doesn't have the money. But when it's a rich guy, they look at it like you should be giving that your money to a black woman. You shouldn't invest your money in a white woman.
That's the part that I have an issue about.
Because the black women always have something to say. I think if we didn't focus,
we have something to say because something is negatively always said regarding black women. Like I said, I don't care who you date, but my thing is, don't sit there and pedestalize a white woman.
I ain't gonna say what you said. I guess because people usually ask. I guess that's what I meant to say. A lot of people ask why.
Correct.
How can you discount his experiences? If his experience is, this is what he experienced and this is what he went through, and when he went home and everybody was fighting at the barbecue and it was a bunch of baby mamas and all of that stuff, how can you debate or how can you discount the fact that that's what he's
Don't say that, but don't give that term to black people specifically as a whole. Say that is my.
No, that's the culture. Listen, you
that don't happen. Like that don't happen.
It does happen.
It does happen, but it's not. You always say black people are not a monolith, right? So
we not, but we speak to the majority, and if you look at it,
so the majority of black people.
I'll give you an example.
Yeah, I don't think
it's no
majority of black people are unpleasant and unruly.
Hold on.
What metric of measure are we using, Kamaya?
There's no point arguing this. We could just use real examples. Is it normal? And let's just be real. Is it normal in a black household for there to be an expectation not to bring home a white woman?
Is it normal?
Yeah.
Is it normal on average for a black household to expect or to set the expectation for you not to bring home a white woman?
Yes.
White woman or white person?
I think it will depend.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it depends on your upbringing.
Even a white man.
This
Even
is
a white man, I've been told.
very
Even a
simple
white
question.
man. Yes.
Can anybody hear me?
Question. It's
Yes,
a
we can hear
very
you.
simple question.
Can I answer
Is
the
it
question?
Based on your experience.
Let's not remix it.
Wait,
We can add the context shortly. Is it normal in a black household for the expectation to not bring home a white woman?
Yes.
Yes. Wait, let Freckles go.
That's how you act like white people don't say don't bring somebody black home.
Wait, Jeff.
We're not talking about white people right now. He asked a simple questions about the black family. And the answer is yes. They don't expect you to bring a white woman as a man, as a black man in a black family. They're going to be surprised because they don't expect it.
This is why it's so difficult to deal with black women, because y'all can't even wait, be patient, answer the question, and then we can start it. I literally set the expectation and I said, listen, we'll add the context, we'll get into it later. Let's establish answering a question first, and let's go from there. Is it normal? Let me ask one more time, for a household or for a family to expect for a black man not to bring home a white woman?
Yes.
That is the normal expectation, right? Because we'll be shocked if you bring in a white woman. We'll be like,
okay, so hold on. Oh, is it normal?
I think, if I'm being honest, like I've seen it.
Hold on. We're gonna get there. Oh, you saying it's normal. Dalen, you saying it's normal, correct?
Yeah, it is normalized.
Yes, is it normal? On average.
Normal, not acceptable.
On average, yes.
Nikki, is it normal?
Yes.
Nara, is it normal?
Not in my experience, no.
No, not in your experience.
No, I don't know. I don't know of that.
Okay,
no.
cool. That's cool. Carmaya, is it normal?
Absolutely.
Miss Freckles, is it normal?
On average, yes.
Deja, is it normal?
Yes.
Okay, now we can deep dive into the context to understand the why, or y'all can add the nuance, or whatever it is that you want to add into it. But my point that I was establishing is y'all keep acting like, okay, well, we not a monolith, but if the culture and if it's normalized for a person to experience certain things broadly across the spectrum, and we all from different parts of the United States of America, then why are y'all trying to act like this is not something that people deal with on a regular basis?
Is that what's being portrayed?
Yeah.
By black women? It's a genuine question, Anton. I don't want you to get frustrated for the clarity.
Wait, say that again. What is being portrayed? What did you ask?
These things. Jess said, let's try to act like this is not all black people. What I said to Jess was, we can't discount his experiences. And yes, there are certain things that is normalized within the community. I use this as an example, as a part of his story, because that's a part of what he said that his family's expectation was. And I'm saying that it is normal for these things that he's saying that she said in her story to be communicated and for it to happen within the black culture and community. That's what I said. So we can't always use the excuse and say, well, why? Because Jess said, I just don't like that they always put black women down as a result of saying that their experience with this. You can't discount the experience, and we can't ignore that a lot of the stuff that is being communicated is stuff that we go through all the time. It happens regularly amongst men and amongst women and amongst our families.
Is that what Jess was saying?
But can you just say, I like white women, I like being with a white woman?
He asked the context.
But I don't like when people say I like white women because black women X, Y, and Z. Just say you like white women.
Why not?
Okay.
Why not? Like, if a woman can say I like a man because he's tall, I like him, a man because he got resources, I like so and so, I like black men because I like black men. Every person should be able to say why they like who they like. So if a black man says why he likes a white woman, and it so happens that there's something he likes about a white woman black women don't have, it is what it is. It shouldn't be an issue. It's like black women can speak about their preferences and why they like the preferences they like. But as soon as a man says what they like and they don't have the qualities he likes, they get offended. I never get it.
Hey, I like going to Chick-fil-A because I like their chicken better. I don't like
Yeah.
Popeyes because every time I go to Popeyes, Popeyes is ghetto and they always give me some cold chicken. Is that a bad thing for me to say?
I think
It
we
doesn't
should.
make any
You
sense.
should tell us why you like Chick-fil-A. Tell me why
I
you
don't have
like
to tell
just
you
like
anything. Only thing we got to
If
tell
I'm
y'all.
telling you,
Only
this
thing
is
we
what
got
I'm
to
saying,
hold on,
David.
hold
If
on,
I'm
hold on,
telling
Kamaya.
you,
Hear
not
you.
Hold on,
if I'm
Kamaya. Hold on,
telling you that
Kamaya.
I like
Hold on,
this thing.
Kamaya. Hold on, Kamaya. Why do we have to say it the way that you want us to say it? Why we
Exactly.
Think about that white woman. Think about if you ask her, well, Tyrone, why do you want me? Because LaQuisha was a ghetto bitch. And it's like, no, I mean, why do you like me? Well, because my baby mama. No, Tyrone. Why do you want my white behind? Stop telling me what you don't
But
like.
you're not a white woman, so here's the key.
Yeah, they don't ask it like that.
No. You're not a white woman, and you're not the ones that they're picking. So my point is, in this particular segment, they're talking about whether or not white women are a black man's piece. You can't speak from that lens because you're not on that side.
I'm not speaking from the lens. I'm giving perspective because I'm trying to make.
How many times are we hearing black women say, "Hey, tell me why you going away from white men and picking black women"?
No, even better,
It's
Anton. Let's use
that's overall. That's not y'all experience. So why are we answering questions that's not even a question for us within this community?
Anton, let's use Dalen's example. Dalen and Jess's example earlier. They were talking about their experience with a white women in the workplace, right? They said that, oh yeah, they've had these negative encounters with them, et cetera, et cetera. Where's the white women saying that, no, you can't say that, Dalen, no, you can't say that, Jess, because that's negative. How come you just can't say you just don't like working in the workplace? It doesn't make any sense. If you're trying to give detail and you're trying to give someone, some kind of, open door into your world, you will give them an example of what you're experiencing. You don't just go out and say, oh, I just don't like white women. They're going to be like, well, why?
All right, hold on. Let me remix this a little bit. How many?
The truth is that they don't want the accountability that comes with black men choosing white women. Because they always wonder, why didn't you choose a black woman? There's so many good black women. But as soon as a black man says, hey, the reason I chose a white woman is because you're so loud, like you're ratchet, you don't listen to me, always arguments. Then they're like, oh, just accept your white woman, just be with your white woman, don't talk about us. But that's because they don't have accountability, because that means it will force them to have to make some changes, and they don't want to make some changes because they want black men to accept them the way they are. Anyway, man, shout out to Anton Daniels, link down below. All right, next we got Lapif. Crazy. Let's get into it.
Do women today love men or love what men provide?
I think the numbers reflect men who marry the woman they're with. I don't think that has anything. Men control asking a woman to marry them. I think that that's the exact opposite, if you ask me. But I think that women love men all the time. Like, it just doesn't lead to marriage. I don't think it's based off of. I mean, look at it this way. Y'all love sitting here talking about Pookies and Ray Rays. Pookie ain't got no money. Some of these Pookies is on the sofa on this young lady.
You just contradicted yourself.
And no, I was talking about.
So if Pookie had money, you love him then.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, that Pookie has a girlfriend who's watching over him, who loves him. Most Pookies have kids. That means somebody trusted them to have a kid with them, right? So he has a girl. All these Pookies around here, they be having baby mamas. They ain't out here just not having women they have access to. They're just.
Yeah, but you assuming that all men have to provide is the money. Pookies provide something else. They can provide protection. They can provide some weed. They can provide, I don't know, the emotional instability that comes with them. One day they're here, one day they're not here. Something women love. They love the roller coaster because the good guy is so boring. So Pookies provide something. It's not money, but they provide that emotional roller coaster that women like.
It's not marrying these women, and these men don't have money like that.
Why do you
they still love what it is he provides.
Right.
It's just that he
don't have money.
Let me just say this. We are the lowest economically, right? We are the lowest economically. But black men keep a woman. They do. So if it was about the money, I'm sorry, you're whipping the people we pick.
You are assuming that every time, I get it, provision, the main, component of provision is money, but that's not all that men provide to women. There's time, companionship, emotional roller coaster from the Pookies, protection, listening to whatever they got going on, kids, sex, I don't know, status. Those are so many provisions. It's not just about the money.
But because we love you.
I didn't say money though.
Why we act like Pookie ain't got money?
But because we love you, we stick beside you, and we're clearly we are the lowest economically. So it ain't about the money, honey. It's about love. Love and loyalty.
There's no love.
Pookie's still a dream.
Yeah. See, what y'all don't understand is that Pookie provides. It's not financial, but that's not what I was talking about. I mentioned the feeling, the sensations you get, whatever. Pookie might just be providing that schlong. He might be actually providing that overstimulation emotionally that you need because you grew up in trauma.
Yeah.
Pookie could provide whatever it is that you need outside of bread.
Weed.
So let's not get it twisted. He's not just doing nothing. He's not a scarecrow. He's doing something. And that whatever that is, that's your fix. Whatever it is that woman desires is what Pookie is providing.
Let me ask you a question, Fred, because you're married. Does your woman provide things for you? Does your wife provide things for you? Did she offer you any type of provision?
When you say things, what do you mean?
Meaning, does she bring value to your life?
Damn.
Sure. I wouldn't have married her. What the fuck?
Absolutely. So the point is, people marry people, their relationships, because they add value to their life. So let's not act like it's just one side, like, oh, women, would you love this person?
Nobody said that. The question was, do women love what men provide, not the men? Because we can turn it around. So many men are with women who provide really maybe sex, if anything, and then the men provide the rest. So that's a situation where you can say someone actually loves or is with someone just for them, not because they are providing anything tangible, because they provide, if they're being intimate, they both provide each other sex, so that cancels out, but how many women are with men who just provide sex? Yeah, they're there, but they got to provide something else. And otherwise, if not, it's not going to be for long term.
Listen, it was a one-sided question. It wasn't I'm answering the question.
She just said it was all love, and now said people married for provision.
I answered the question. That's what I did. I answered the question. It was a one-sided question. If you would have asked the same thing about men, then people would have thought I was pandering tonight. That's all I did. I'm sticking to the topic.
So the thing about exactly. So we have you just said it exactly. We sitting here having a conversation that's kind of common sense, right? To the point where it's like, if you ask the same question and if you even mention the female side of it, it's called pandering. It's almost like y'all trying to stick us in a corner like we're bad people. It's a human thing. When you're in a companionship with somebody, it's human. When a person brings value to your life, both ways, you want to marry them.
Now, Shan, we're talking about my wife, right? But I wouldn't marry most. I wouldn't marry most women, though. You know what I'm saying? And that's not the average man's experience today, right? I could just go ahead and make this anecdotal if I want to, but the fact of the matter is, most relationships are failing. Most Black people aren't getting married, unfortunately, right?
Right. So,
and even some of the people who are married are still failing within their marriage, and that's the point. Right. So someone's not finding value somewhere. Most people aren't finding value. And that's what I'm trying to get you to dig. Like, forget me. That's my situation.
I think they're too full. Let me handle this, Cal. So this is what I'm saying.
Results may vary.
So the problem is when the concentration is always on one person, one part. So if two people are having a problem in a relationship, to focus only on one part of the relationship, that's the imbalanced conversation. You can't just sit here and say, what is the woman doing? And you never speak on the man. If you really want to know the answer to the solution to the problem, you need to tackle both.
The reason we are, asking what is a woman doing, because for so many years, women have told us what men are not doing, and men have been quiet. It's only recently, with YouTube and social media that men are starting to speak up. But even when men speak up, women like her are quick to be like, but what about the man? It's like, you have been telling us men ain't shit, men don't do this, men blah, blah, blah. We've been hearing that, and men were quiet. Even women claim men don't speak out, they're not vulnerable, they don't open up, they don't share how they feel. But as soon as a man says, what do you bring to the table? Now they don't like that question. They say, I'm the table. It's like, but what is that what type of value are you going to provide for me?
Hey Shan, you ain't never heard me talk about dudes before on some real? Like, you never heard me talk about dudes and tell them to stop going out here and having babies with women who you don't plan on marrying, and stop being bums and get your money up and all that. So listen, I stick to the topic. The question was what it was, and I'll answer whatever comes up. I'm going to answer it directly and streamline. I'm not going to deviate too much. I just try to stick to it. So he might come out tonight, pause, and ask a question. Men.
No, listen, I absolutely get it. But
Shan, I got a question for you.
Listen, Shamone has jumped on his panel, and I'm going to tackle it from both ends. What I heard was him ask silently about men too. So I answered the question aloud. Thank you.
I got a question for you, Shan. So you got a man, right?
I do.
You love him, right?
I do. Ow.
Now, when you met him, if he was broke, would you still love him?
I met him when he was broke. We've been in college.
Okay.
Go ahead, Callie.
I was going to say, I think most women do love men. And the reason I say that is because most women, when they're talking about, oh, I'm independent, I don't need to do it, it's all just a freaking front, because they probably got hurt and they're just like upset with that. But the second a man comes in and starts showering them with love and loving on them and showing that it's okay to be vulnerable, then they'll fold.
Well, what do you mean showering with love? Because it's not going to be with words, that's for sure. He's going to shower them with love, with some paper, with some gifts, with some experiences, trips, whatever it is. Because they keep saying love, but their love is in words. It's just an expression using words. For men, their love has to be tangible. It's something you can track and be like, okay, he expresses love through a trip, through a gift, through a dinner date, through something. So that's the difference, the disconnect.
They always do. I've met countless of women that have done it. This whole, oh, I don't want a man, I don't want this. It's a phase. And a lot of the people that are saying they don't want a man, half of them have a man. That's the crazy part. A lot of those songs we hear about, oh, F dudes, this and that, you hear them in relationships they're in relationships all the time. I just think that we focus too much on the wrong things in relationships. And then we look at other people's relationships and then make them feel like, and then it makes other people feel like their relationships have to be like their relationship. And that's typically why it fails, is because people lost the purpose of a relationship. It's not about what you can always just bring to the table. And sometimes people think that because it's bad right now, it can't get better. They're so focused on the negative, or so focused on things that really aren't as important, because what is important is the relationship you have with that person.
No, people are focused on the so-called negative because we are trying to change the narrative. If we know marriage rates are going down, if we know divorces are going up, if we know men are giving up on marriage because, the child custody, divorce court, and things like that, if we know that women's standards are going high and high and men can't measure up, we have to have these conversations if we want the community to be together again, because community starts with the family. So we have to definitely have these tough conversations. Now, I know the ladies don't like to have these conversations because they're going to be held accountable. They don't mind if men are being held accountable and told to provide, But as soon as the men are like, hey, we're gonna hold you accountable, submit, and be nice to men, they don't like that. So at the end of the day, we have to have the tough conversations. What do you guys think about that? I'll put the link down below to Lapif. Shout out to Lapif Network. All right, next we have Lapif again, and they're talking about marriage. This was crazy. This was a crazy conversation. Let's go.
Okay, so removing the statement of if he passes away, you can answer the
Thank
question. I know it's hard for you to decipher.
No, I just like whenever you come polished, and the woman needs is just be.
But you didn't come polished when you addressed me.
Okay, what?
You didn't come polished when you addressed me. You made
Darwin,
assumptions
when I
that I'm
said that,
struggling to
I
hear
said
you.
I think you lack a lot of polish, and I don't think you lack class in some of the things that you say. But I clarified it for you so you can answer the question.
Okay, so
do I like polish too, Casey? Yeah.
So look, it's in her best interest to get married young when she's at the top of her prime, when she's at the highest point of her peak value. She could still pursue her career while she's married. You agree with that? You agree with that?
I disagree.
Okay, well, there you have it. And that is probably why you are alone.
But you don't know my relationship status.
But you're not married either.
I could smell it.
You can't. Tell me my relationship status.
Anybody else have any questions? Callie?
My question is, how is it polished when you're making assumptions on other people based on no actual facts? You're nitpicking on what people are saying. You don't know my entire life. You're making assumptions off of a couple of things that I've said, but not one time have you actually taken the time to get to know me and pick my brain as a person. All you're doing is passing judgment and telling me what I should do and what I shouldn't do. But at the end of the day, you don't know my situation. You don't know my lifestyle. You don't know what I'm going through in my personal life. That has nothing to do with relationships. I feel that when someone is in a relationship, they should come into a relationship with their best foot forward. They should come with as less baggage as they possibly can. You don't have no idea what I've been through in my life and what I'm still going through to this day. I could have health issues you know nothing about. But all you're doing is making me look like I'm just another lady that needs to get married, this, that, and the third, all because of your assumptions. That's not coming polished. Coming polished is understanding the person that you're talking to get a better context of how to go ahead.
Okay, let me try to understand this for you. You're struggling, you have this baggage, and you're trying to heal from it. You also have these opportunities that you're pursuing. You also had a relationship that was distant, that didn't work out. Is that at least true so far?
Aside from the baggage, yes, I had a long distance relationship that didn't work out. Okay, everybody has relationships that didn't work out.
When you mentioned come in with your best foot forward.
Yes, I want to come in with my best foot forward. I want to at least be in a position where I'm steady in where I need to be. And so when I come to you, I'm coming to you with someone that has what she feels that she needed to have. That's just how I feel. I want to come to you with my best foot forward, just like anybody would want to come to me with their best foot forward. Okay, and that doesn't mean I'm struggling. That just means that I have some stuff that I need to take care of before I hop into a relationship to commit. That doesn't mean I'm sitting here and I'm focusing on what I need to focus on for me as a woman and for what I need to do with stuff that I do not want to address online. And so I'm trying to be very vague because I don't want to address this online. But what I'm going through in my life and what I'm doing right now, that doesn't mean that I'm struggling. It means that I have a goal. I have a path that I need to do first. So when I sit here and I go on a date with someone, I'm able to, and I am in a relationship, I'm able to give them the full version of myself. I'm able to put in the amount of work and effort it takes with no distractions. Because when you're in a relationship, it takes a lot of work.
Keep in mind that Darwin made his wife leave her education and give up her dreams and everything else to marry him.
Oh, now this one is attacking his wife. You know, it's funny how they always attack the women who are married when they don't like something. It's like they believe that if a woman chooses marriage over a career like this one and this one, because all she's saying is she prefers to chase her dreams and her career over marriage. Now she's saying that he forced his wife to quit her career. But it's like, what if that was her choice? I mean, you are choosing a career over marriage. So are you saying other women shouldn't choose marriage over career?
Okay,
For him to get on panels and rage bait.
Okay, back to the matter at hand. So all of those entities or all of those things that you mentioned, Callie, is it safe to say that those things are an obstacle or impeding the next step that you want to take to get married?
It's opportunities that I created. It's opportunities, because that's not an obstacle. The things that I'm doing with my life right now, things where I'm going right now and the opportunities that I have right now, it could be probably one of the best things that's ever happened to me in my life. And right now, I got some people in my family that I really want to pay it forward to. Now, is that to say that I don't want to get married? Of course, I do want to get married one day. I'm not struggling to get married. I know I can find a suitable man. I know that I can find someone that's going to want to marry me. But
yeah, but you are assuming when you're done with your career, whatever you're doing, there's going to be your husband is going to be outside your door waiting as soon as you open. Then when you're like, oh God, now I'm done with my career, I'm where I want to be, you're going to open the door and your husband is going to be outside waiting. And that's not how it works, you know, because who knows how old you're going to be when it's all done, and who knows how long it's going to take if you even ever find that man. What he's saying, chances are, as you're doing whatever you are doing, you could meet the man who's supposed to be your husband. Now, if you don't, you know, hold on tight because you are busy with your career and things like that, you're going to let him go and he's never going to come. And you're going to keep praying to God, send me a husband. And God is going to be like, hey, I sent you the man, but you told him you're too busy. And which I think he's saying you can do those things together. You're pursuing your career. If God sends you a good man right now who's marriage material, are you saying you're going to leave him to the side because you're chasing your career and you think he's going to 10, 15 years around, turn around and come back? That's not how life works.
At the same time, relationships take a lot of work. They take a lot of effort. And it would be disingenuous of me to know that I don't have the time right now to sit there and play with someone's feelings and sit there and neglect someone of their feelings and what I could provide to them that could their value, all because that I'm solely focused on what I need to do. It's not fair.
I think that's why Darwin's so angry.
So what if I told you because of your time, because of the bandwidth you have, is allocated to your pursuit of the opportunities you created for yourself, impedes you getting married? What if I told you that right there is going to prevent you from getting married, and it's indeed a struggle to get married?
No, it's
any
not.
man who's trying to vet you for a wife sees that.
It's not, because this is not something that's going to be for the rest of my life. I'm giving myself a year tops. I'm giving myself this year to really do what I need to take care of and create that routine and get, I literally am doing this thing. I'm not going to do this forever. Like, I'm not going to sit up here and be like, oh, my career comes first forever. This is just for I put a timestamp on everything that I do. So for this particular period, for this year, I need to lock the fuck in and do what I need to do. The reason I made that statement about the other woman was because her goal was different than mine. My thought process, my belief is, I don't give a fuck what your goal is. Whatever your goal is and whatever it is that you truly want, you need to lock the fuck in and do it. So if your goal right now, right at this very moment, is to find a man, to get married and to have kids and to have that whole lifestyle, then you need to lock the fuck in. You need to really do what it takes to be that person so you can have that lifestyle. My lifestyle right now, what I'm doing, I need to lock the fuck in and get this done so that I can have the time, so that I can have the resources, so that I can be the woman for my man that he deserves. Not because I'm thinking that I'm perfect and I need a man right now. I know right now where I'm at, I need to go ahead and do this. Let me do this real quick. And I promise you, Darwin, I promise you, I'll come back to you in 5 years. I will be married and have kids.
See, this is how they make the plans. They think, there's a husband store. You know, they think getting a husband, you know, having babies is easy. You know, you can just find whoever you find attractive, have sex, and the babies will pop up. But when it comes to marriage, actually dating someone, you guys connect, you both, have the same family goals, stay together for some time, plan the wedding. That takes time. It also takes time to find that kind of guy. But the way they structure and they plan in their heads, it's like there's a husband store where when she's done with her career and whatever she's doing, she's going to walk in, pay money, and pick a husband from the shelf. And that's not how it works. Speaking about, oh, in 5 years and this, she's not thinking about that she has to meet the guy, they have to go on dates, they have to get to know each other, they have to meet each other's families, they have to get, I mean, the way they plan these things. I mean, finding a husband is not like getting a degree. You can go to school, pay, you know, the number of years it's going to take you to get your degree. It's not the same thing, but they think the husband is always there waiting. The Prince Charming is always outside there waiting for them to do whatever they want to do, and then they'll get the Prince Charming.
I promise you that. I promise you that.
Claim, but I'm telling you, the only problem with what you're saying is oftentimes women run into the same issue that you have and thinking that you have to go check the box on all of these aspirations you have in order to be suitable or ready or fully prepared for marriage when you don't.
I have to do that for myself.
Yeah,
it has nothing to do with anybody else.
You just made my point. The things you're doing is not for the best interest of qualifying or optimizing yourself for marriage. It's for you optimizing yourself for individuality.
Facts, because when men are making money, when a man says, hey, listen, I don't have the money right now, I don't have all this, I need to set myself up, you know, get the resources, put myself in the best situation to provide for my family, that's for his family when he gets married. But women are not like, oh, I need to chase my career, make this money because I'm going to provide for my family. No, it's never like that. It's usually for them. In other words, the things they do for themselves are not contributing to they're not going to be contributing to the goodness of their marriage. You know, it's not like, oh, I'm going to wife school to learn how to cook. You know, I'm learning how to be feminine. I'm learning how to take care of babies and stuff like that. They're not learning things conducive to a marriage. They're learning things that help them as them, the selfish nature, in other words. So whatever she's doing, the career, anything, it's not like she's making money. She's going to provide for a man. No, she's going to provide for herself. So that doesn't help the marriage. It doesn't help her in any way to find a husband.
In order for you to be optimized for marriage, you have to be satisfied with the life that you're living.
Not true.
In order to be optimized for marriage, you have to be satisfied with who you are and the life that you're living. That's why a lot of men get into relationships and get on the internet and rage bait and are angry because their wives are unhappy at home and you don't have a happy relationship.
That's not true.
Yeah, but okay, let's say that's true, that men, you know, and that's what I said. The men, actually, the things they do are going to benefit the family. But I want us to tell us exactly what she's doing in her personal life that's going to benefit the family or the marriage that she wants to get in the future. Nothing.
In order to be optimized for marriage, it's all subjective to the man that's vetting you out, and that is to wife you.
And that's the thing. I think you think that the man holds the power in a woman's life.
Up against the criteria he presents.
She's a feminist.
Suitable to be his wife.
She's a
So
feminist.
y'all think y'all got this blanketed criteria. And y'all think that fits every man, and you're gonna run into a problem whenever
Darwin, did your wife finish her education?
Why are you talking about the man's wife? What does anything have to do with his wife? When they can't win arguments, they attack women who are married. Like, single women are really jealous of women who are happy and married. Like, a married man is giving you the game on how to become a wife, and you don't want it. Now you're attacking his wife.
Yes, my wife has a master's degree.
And
so so that kind of
let me finish my point. Let me finish my point.
My wife had a career. She had a bachelor's degree and master's. Go ahead and finish your point.
And you said that she had a career during that relationship, correct?
She pursued her career
maybe that's not the life that Callie wants to live. Maybe she wants to pursue what she's doing now, finish her degree, finish whatever career she's having, and then have kids later on in life so she could stay at home and be a nurturer.
Understand?
But that's not how it works. Like, just because she's going to finish her career, her degree and everything, the man she wants is not going to be waiting outside her house that, hey, okay, now I'm done with my career. Where are you, future husband? Where? That's not how it works. Like, there is nothing she's doing right now that is leading her on a journey to find the husband of her or the man of her life. That's not how it works. But anyway, man, shout out to Lapif. This was bad. It was sad to watch. We are doomed. All right. Next up, Shout out to Kendra G. This man came on a show. They started calling him gay because he has standards women can't meet. Without further ado, let me put it right here. I should be good.
Yeah.
Okay. Anthony, where you calling us from?
Fresno, about 2 hours outside of LA.
Fresno, 2 hours. Okay. So your name is Anthony. How old are you, sir?
I'm 43.
43. I'm a rock with it when you watch it back. I hope it clears up. Maybe it'll clear up. 43, Fresno, Cali. You have any kids?
I have 2 kids, a 16-year-old that stays with me, that's going to college soon, and a 10-year-old that stays with his mom. I was married for 14 years, so both of them from the marriage, and we divorced about 5 years ago.
Okay. A 16-year-old, and what's the other child's age?
10-year-old daughter that stays with her mom.
Okay. And they were both from your ex-wife?
Yes.
Okay. What do you do for a living, Anthony?
I'm a utilities director. I'm over a water department, as well as I do a lot of real estate and, a few other things, investments that kind of keep me going.
Okay.
That I enjoy.
Okay. All right, let's do it. We got Anthony, Fresno, California, 43. Dad of 2 kids by his ex-wife. You are a utility director and also real estate and investments, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's do it. What kind of woman are you looking for?
Number one, a woman of character. I think that's extremely important. Somebody that has a really good faith, that likes to have fun. I like to travel. Last weekend I was in Atlanta. I really enjoyed myself. I almost tried to make it to DC when you was there, but I couldn't make it work. I was trying to, but I couldn't.
I appreciate the effort. Okay.
Yeah, and then I go to Bali next month. So just somebody who can balance faith as well as fun. And give me 1 second. I'm gonna shut this fridge.
Okay.
I mean, so far he hasn't said nothing crazy, but you guys will see, because of his standards, once he talks about his standards, the women were calling him gay because they can't measure up.
So you say you're going to Bali next month, so you want someone that can travel.
Yes, passport.
Gotta have,
and I'm completely, either a passport, but I'm okay with like the Ruth methodology. Like if you don't, just be willing to get a passport.
Okay, willing to get a passport. Okay. Okay. You have any more requirements before we go to your deal breakers?
No, I think mainly character, somebody of faith, somebody that looks at the positive. And the reality is that whenever you're in a relationship, you grow a lot. So somebody that's open, cooperative, I think that's extremely important. I think I have a very strong direction that I'm going. So definitely want somebody that's willing to get on that train and enjoy life and do life together.
Okay. For your Wi-Fi, someone is saying maybe you have the plastic still on. Do you have the plastic part on your phone? It's getting better. Actually, it's starting to get a little better.
Yeah, I got the new MacBook Pro, and I've actually never used it. I've just been having it around the house. So I just turned it on. So it might be me. It might be like plastic or something on.
Okay. All right. So the plastic's not on, right?
I don't think so. I hope it's not. That'd be kind of embarrassing.
Okay. All right. Okay, Anthony. So wait, what were your deal breakers again?
Really just, somebody who's not honest to me, somebody who's not loyal, somebody that's not cooperative. I really believe in cooperation.
What's cooperation mean?
So he basically wants a submissive woman, because men have learned that women don't like the word submission. So they say, I want a kind woman, a woman who's very cooperative, and a nice woman, no arguments, which really means I want a submissive woman, because women hate the word submissive. They think it means slave.
That's a really good question. I have a really strong plan and I try to be a man of integrity. So I want somebody that can follow that lead, so I believe I'm a really good leader. I got an MBA, so I lead hundreds and hundreds of people. So I think I can lead a household, and want somebody that's willing to jump on and go in the same direction as me. So I think it's pretty basic, not too complex.
Okay, got you. All right. Should she look a certain way?
I like a good face card. Like, you know, that's really important. You know, I like a really beautiful smile. If she got a really beautiful smile, a really cool face card, you know, that's what I'm most. I really like it. Yeah, I would say that's it.
Should she make a certain amount of money?
No, I have, like I told you, I really believe in the roots methodology, pretty much meaning, you know, I feel like I'm doing well enough that no matter where she's at, that's not going to change my lifestyle. You know, so I really don't mind. Matter of fact, I just prefer that she be open because I do have a career where I can only work at certain places because I'm, you know, a little high up on the totem pole. So I would need somebody that's flexible and willing to work around my life a little bit. So probably somebody making less may even work better, but I'm open.
Okay, so he makes good money. He's willing to be a provider, the kind of man women usually want, who is willing to pay for everything. Now, I don't know. He has to be careful because they may take advantage of that. But hey, listen, that's what women have been saying they want. Here they have a man who sounds like he makes good money.
Okay. So because you want somebody that can fit within your life.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Let's do the Kendra Can. You gotta be able to see your legs.
Okay, let me back it up.
Okay. Looks like you're in shape.
Yeah.
Okay. Anthony, Fresno, California, 43. When was your last relationship?
My last relationship was about 6 months ago. I was with her for a little bit over a year.
Okay. You don't have to answer, but I'm going to ask. When's the last time you was intimate with someone?
Don't answer it.
6 months ago.
Okay.
Okay. Good answer, because it's a trick question. If you say you just, you know, you just were clapping chicks a week ago, they're going to call you, you know, a womanizer. So it's always best to, if it was me, I would never answer. But it's always better to say 6 months or more.
3 flaws you have to work on.
Definitely, you know, I can be a little, because I've been doing what I do and live a certain way I do, and I believe in discipline. Sometimes I'm working on just being more patient, trying to be more patient with people, because when you do something and you've been doing it for so long, you don't realize everybody don't live that type of lifestyle. Everybody's not used to living that at that level. So I just try to be more patient. That's something I'm working on. And sometimes I can, you know, I can be a little impulsive. You know, I went and did a photo shoot last week, and you know, and I kind of went over budget. And I think that that's something that I try not to do too much. And then sometimes I can, you know, sometimes I can be extremely generous. And I think sometimes I'm working on creating healthy boundaries, because just because I got it don't mean I should do it. And that's something I continue to work on and get better at.
Okay, again, he's mentioning the money. He's letting them know, hey, I got the money and sometimes I overspend. This is every woman's dream. Oh, you got the money and sometimes you overspend? Because, you know, women don't mind if you're going to overspend on them. You know, if you're going to spend on them, take them shopping, they don't care. But one thing that stood out for me is the fact that when men come on this show, at least most of the men, they can list out all the flaws they got. You know, but when women come on the show, they struggle to list the flaws they have, but they're very quick to list everything a man should do for them. So that's always very interesting.
Okay, well, you really thought about that. All right, so do you want the woman to be in California, Fresno?
No, I'm pretty open. I don't believe it's very many women, Black women in Fresno. I could be wrong. Because I stay in a suburb, and the area I'm in maybe it's just the area. So that's why I'm open, but definitely somebody willing to travel.
They're telling me to ask you, what was the photo shoot for? I believe in photos. I mean, I do photo shoots all the time, child. So, but they're telling me to ask you, why did you do a photo shoot?
Because I'm not really good on social media and I don't take really good pictures. So it was just kind of like a branding thing for myself. It was therapeutic. Okay. It was, you know, when you go a really tough breakup, the photo shoot was one way that I could like, you know, reset and kind of like start over.
Yeah.
So, okay. I see why they were calling him gay, because it's not normal for men to just go around do random photo shoots after a breakup. You know, because like I told you guys in the comments, the women were calling him gay. You know, sometimes a well-spoken man. He seems like a confident guy. He got his money. Obviously, you know, I guess the earring. They're calling him gay for that reason.
Yeah, you don't have to wait to a wedding day or a class reunion to do a photo shoot. I think that's a misconception for people. Like, you can decide you want to do a photo shoot because you want to. You don't need any other reason other than you want to. That's simple. But I got you. All right, couple things. What's the age range you want to date?
25 to 35. But I'm saying that age range because, you know, I do want to have another kid, and I know that those age range really works really well. But I'm open on the upper end, depending on the person and biology and how their face card is. You know, I'm definitely open because this, you know, it depends on the person.
Okay. Would you date a woman that has kids already?
Yeah, of course. But again, there would be probably, you know, some expectations around that. But as long as those expectations are met, I'm open to it. Okay.
Did I ask you why would a woman be lucky to be with you?
You did not ask me that question.
Okay, that's the last question.
No, I definitely think that I give a little bit of everything. I think leading with character and trying to enjoy life and engaging, you know, and I don't like to use the term high value man, but I know that in a lot of areas I'm top 2 or 3%. And I think that matters to some people.
Oh, okay. That's another reason they called him. See how Kendra is looking? Top 2 or 3%. Yeah. Anytime a man has confidence and, you know, speaks highly of himself, women call him gay. They call him sassy. See, as soon as he mentioned that he's a high value man and he's in the top 2 3%. See where Kendra is looking? So I see why women in the comments were calling him gay.
What qualifies you? I personally don't think I don't think high value. Well, first let me ask you this: what do you rate? What are the qualifications that you feel as though make you high value?
I think it's how you conduct yourself. Number one, you're having discipline, being disciplined in your life, and I think also there's an income component, being able to be a provider. I think that's important. And I say high value to me would be like over 150, 200,000. Being maybe possibly at the lower end of a millionaire would make you a high value, at least in my opinion, because you're able to afford your whatever lifestyle you live. And then about the how you conduct yourself on a day-to-day basis, you know, not getting into some of the things that's I think lower value as far as conduct and things of that nature.
Okay, good answer.
So I don't really believe in that term, but it just seems like that's the term people use.
Right. This is directed towards you because obviously you're not the first person that ever thought of that term. But I feel as though that term really got the internet and the dating game messed up because high value makes it doesn't matter. If a person is not showing up for you, no matter how much money they have in the bank, they actually have no value.
No, they do have value. To the market, they do have value. You know, if we're going to be honest. You see, Elon Musk, he had like 12 baby mamas, 12 kids, but he's the richest person in the world. He has more value than I do. So you may think, oh, he sleeps around, he has so many kids, it's not high value. The market decides he's high value. That's why the market rewards him with all the money. That's it. We can't put our feelings into it. You know, you could say person of good character, whatever it is, but on the surface, from the world point of view, a person of high value is what the market says. And the market usually rewards him with lots of resources. It is what it is. That's my opinion.
You can know a person that has $500,000, and let's say you're dating a man that has $500,000, but then there's a man that makes $60K. But that's the man that's really showing up at your door and really being there for you in the time of need. That man has more value than the 500K man.
Yeah, that man who makes 60K would have more value if more women wanted him. Okay, but unfortunately, more women want the guy who makes $500,000. So he has more value. We don't care if the guy who makes 60K goes to church every single day, if he can read the Bible from the beginning to the bottom, in 2 seconds, we don't care. The women decide that, hey, listen, yeah, you're good, you don't curse, but guess what? I want this guy who makes $500,000. He's high value. Like I said, the market decides.
I hate that we got to this realm that because of the dollar amount a person makes, they're considered high value. It's really bullshit. It's like,
no,
the
it's
person
not.
who showed up for you, why does it matter what they have in the bank account?
Ask the women. They come on your show every day asking for men making lots of money. So ask them. They decide the market. They are the market.
I 100% agree. And Kendra, between me and you, I actually am not an advocate of the term, in the sense that it's a lot of people I know that make under that threshold that I consider them high value because of their character, because of how they conduct themselves. And sometimes when I talk to young ladies and they show a willingness to leave their man for me, and it's only because of what they make, it turns me off, because that's not cool. Like, I think that's, to me, that shows disloyalty. And I feel like if somebody shows up in so many different areas, it's more important than money. And I don't believe in leading with money. But at the same time, the reality is that people do live a certain level of lifestyle. And I do want whoever I'm with, if they live that way, for them to know that I believe I can, to an extent, help support that lifestyle and continue it and not downgrade.
I understand. That's why I said that wasn't really a comment directed towards you, because it's just a term that everyone used. I stand on this high value man that a lot of women speak of. And honestly, women, I'm going to put us in this category because it's been so loud, vocal, that a man has to make a certain amount of money.
Yes.
It has made the man in that tax bracket feel like, well, I got it all.
Thank you, Kendra. You're coming around to what I was saying. The women decided that they only want men who make that kind of money. So guess what? Those guys have value. Why? Because the market wants them. The market is the women. Okay? Once the women decide that the guy who makes $50,000 a year is the man they want, and all the women decide that they don't want to mess with guys who make $500,000, $200,000, then only then will the guy who makes $50,000 become high value in their eyes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, say it with your chest. The men that make a certain tax bracket, I think you're an attractive guy that have certain components, we made them into superheroes because so many women are saying these are the qualifications just to be considered. And it's really where everything went wrong, because the truth of the matter, I really don't think a lot of women have dated men in a certain tax bracket, because if you did, you would know, regardless of how much money he has in the bank, it does not equate to high value.
Women don't care.
I learned from hosting the show, experience is the best teacher. And people just have to experience things for themselves to learn the truth. But I don't want to go off tangent.
The only thing I want to say, Kendra, is that I personally, and I want to play devil's advocate. That's a very important thing to do sometimes. I think that is extremely important. It's a lot of women that can entertain people that's high value in their character, but they can't sustain it because of issues that they have or past traumas. So I just think that it's important, if that's something you want, to make sure that you work on yourself. So if you do happen to find somebody like that, you can sustain it long term versus just a year or a year and a half. I think that that's extremely important as well.
I agree with him, because usually the guy who makes less money is willing to tolerate more than the guy who makes lots of money. And the reason being, the guy who makes lots of money will walk away. Like, I got other women who want me. So if you don't want to listen to me, woman, I'm going to move on. But the guy who makes less money, he's going to stay around, stick around, listen to her, the disrespect. So I agree. As they want these guys who make lots of money, they have to realize those guys easily move on. So they have to come correct.
But why would you say the woman can't maintain it? How you know that he couldn't do what he needed to do to keep her?
Because most times they say they want this kind of men. They scream on your show how they want the guy who make lots of money. But those guys come with their own standards and they don't measure up.
I'm going to be on the man's side. I'm sorry. I'm just going to speak from the man's perspective. I don't want to be like. Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Did you initiate the divorce?
I did not. But in the sense that I did say, hey, this is my limit. you met my limit and it's time for us to move on. But she actually initiated it. I felt, a lot of guilt and things of that nature, but she did initiate it, but I was the one that made the decision.
Would you have initiated it if she didn't?
That's a tough decision because I'm a ride or die person. So I really wanted it and I kept making it clear I wanted it. But I don't know if I would have actually did it just because I sometimes I can suffer. I try to suffer through some stuff. But I did make it clear.
Okay. So you kind of proved the point I was about to make. There's a lot of men that's always like kind of what you just said. A woman has to do what she has to do to keep a certain man. But really the reality is the man has to keep the woman because your wife decided to leave. I mean, you had a requirement, and instead of rising to the requirement that you said she needed to do in order to keep you, she left. So I don't think it's fair to say women need. I think what's happening is this. First of all, both people got to keep each other, right?
I agree.
Let's stop this balance of you better not. It's like you better not do anything to rock the boat. It's not about the woman trying to keep the man or the man trying to keep the woman. Two people have to want a relationship to work, and two people have to make sacrifices at time and show up for each other. What happens, this is why I don't like the high value thing, because you believe a woman better do what she can to keep a man like me. And I think men are not hearing women when they say, baby, I'm okay with or without you. I think we're in a time where men hate happy, successful women because they're proving that a woman could thrive without a man. And would you like a man? Of course, maybe some, but not under the conditions that are being presented.
Yeah, you can survive without a man as long as you don't turn around and say, but if a man is going to be with me, he got to come pay my bills. Okay? If you really can survive without a man, especially without what a man can provide, then pick a normal average guy who's not going to pay your bills. But even the rich, successful women still want men who are going to come in and pay their bills and be on their level. I want a man who's on my level. So it's not that men can't handle women who are successful and things like that. It's the fact that whether a woman has money or she doesn't, all of them want a man who has the money. So guess what? The guys who have the money are going to be cocky. It comes with the territory. Until women start to choose men who don't have money and take care of those men, then and only then will the guys who have money, the rich guys, stop being cocky. Other than that, anytime a woman deals with a guy who has money, whether she got money or not, you're going to have to get in the guy's program. I'm sorry. That's how our story is going to be. All right. But anyway, man, shout out to Kendra. I'll give her credit though. She said both people should work to keep each other. So I agree with her. What do you guys think about that? Until next time, peace.